Grab your reserved seats today at IMAX.com/Sacramento.
It's Laramie the Golden Retriever with Vince Bloom the big guy.
The weather's getting cooler, but at Folsom Lake Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, the deals are hotter than ever.
How do you mean, Vince?
It's the Drive Into Fall event, and prices are falling like leaves on every Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram in stock. Listen.
During the Drive Into Fall event at Folsom Lake Dodge, save over $6,500 net savings off MSRP on a new 2025 Jeep Wrangler 2-door Sport. That's over 17% off.
And I've got 5 at this hot deal.
Or rustle up over $10,000 off a new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. Over 19% off.
The Drive Into Fall at Folsom Lake Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Even Laramie knows now is the time for a deal. Right, Laramie?
At Folsom Lake Dodge.
In the Folsom Auto Mall and online at FolsomLakeDodge.com.
Wrangler includes $44.85 dealer discount plus $2,000 in national retail bonus cash. Then SE $65.83.48. Grand Cherokee includes $45.25 dealer discount plus $5,500 in national retail loyalty and select inventory bonus cash. VINs S8667701, 629.387, 6694.58. See dealer for details. Expires 9/30/25.
Investors, keep listening to learn how to get your free gold report. A currency crisis is upon us. The U.S. dollar has been the world's reserve currency for over 50 years, but that is changing. It's time to protect your retirement. Decades of reckless borrowing and spending have critically weakened the dollar. The U.S. has become the world's biggest debtor with over $35 trillion in debt. Plus, the dollar's become weaponized. Countries are dumping it. Investors who wait until it's too late could lose big. There is one safe haven: gold. Diversify your portfolio with a physical asset they can't take away. Call the Reagan Gold Group right now and ask for your free gold guide. Here's our number.
800-941-4184. 800-941-4184. 800-941-4184. That's 800-941-4184.
In the fight against Alzheimer's, now is the moment we've been waiting for. With new treatments emerging in the fight against Alzheimer's and all other dementia, now is the time for hope. Join the fight and walk to end Alzheimer's, the largest fundraiser for care, support, and research to fight the disease. So come on, Sacramento, get out, get moving, and join the Walk to End Alzheimer's, Saturday, September 27th, 8:30 a.m. at William Land Park. Join the movement at alz.org/walk.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA, is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
The voice of Sacramento sports is back.
Hear Grant Napear every weekday beginning at 3 right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Grant's back, and here to win. It's the Grant Napear Show on Fox Sports Radio Sacramento. Now, Grant Napear.
Yes, the football weekend. Let's do it. Got underway last night in Buffalo. Final score, Buffalo 31, Miami 21. We'll go over the quarterback situation in San Francisco, Washington, and the rest of the National Football League schedule. Bob Valvano, who I met, 27 years ago. Bob, of course, Jim Valvano's brother, does a lot of college basketball as an analyst on radio and television. He's got his own show. He's a tremendous storyteller, great guy. He's on with me at 4. Then Damon Bruce at 5, right after my rant to talk about the 49ers. It looks like Brock Purdy will not start, and that means week 2 for Mac Jones. We'll get Damon's comments on the 49ers and the Giants as they are on life support after losing the opening of the 4-game set last night. And then tonight you got Clayton Kershaw, who announced his retirement this week. What a atmosphere that's going to be tonight at Chavez Ravine. So we've got a lot to talk about. I want to get into the game last night. And of course, I welcome your phone calls at 916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. Miami was right there. The game was tied at 21. Fourth quarter, the defense of Miami gets a stop. They're getting ready to get the ball back. They get a roughing the kicker penalty on the punter. That gives Buffalo a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down, well within Miami territory. They score to go up by a touchdown. And then on the ensuing possession, just a horrible, horrible read by Tua. Just a bad interception. Football 101. Picked off, and that sealed it for Buffalo. They kicked the field goal to go up by 10, and they end up winning. So Miami's season is already over at 0-3. They're done. The question is, are they going to play a good part of the season the way they played last night, which was good competitive football, with the exception of two plays? The roughing, the kicker, the punter, and, of course, Tua's interception. Meanwhile, for Buffalo, their back end is not very good. Their defense, and I know it's September, so I don't want to get carried away. They are 3-0. They got a gift of a win against Baltimore when Derrick Henry fumbled. They got chewed up in that game. I'm watching their defense last night, and I'm like, wait a minute. The Dolphins are moving the ball at will. Receivers are open all over the field. That's not a championship caliber defense. That back end, that secondary is not very good. So if I'm a fan of the Buffalo Bills, yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to be 3-0, but you got to look at the big picture here. You're looking at this is your window, right? This is your opportunity. It's open, wide open. I don't know if that defense is going to be good enough when you really need to stop other teams. Again, defenses can get better. It's only week 3, but I'm not sold on the Buffalo Bills defense. I'm really not. A defense that I am sold on, the Green Bay Packers, okay? I'm sold on that defense. I'm sold on the Chargers defense after watching them in 2 games against Kansas City and the Raiders. So let's go over the NFL schedule and let's get to some big games. Why don't we start early and work our way to the late games? So the Raiders are going to be going to Washington. Jaden Daniels is out. So the Raiders will not get a look at the outstanding young quarterback out of LSU. Marcus Mariota, former Raider, will get the start for the Washington Commanders. So keep your eye on that. Vegas in Washington, coming off a bad loss, and Geno Smith was horrible in the game against the Chargers on Monday night. That's a tough week to play on a Monday night and then have to go cross country. So keep that in mind. Green Bay takes their 2-0 record on the road to the Dog Pound, taking on the Browns, who are 0-2. The surprising Colts can go to 3-0 if they win at Tennessee. Cincinnati, no Joe Burrow for 3 months. Folsom's Jake Browning. Let's see how he does. He did well 2 years ago filling in for Burrow. At Minnesota, no J.J. McCarthy. Carson Wentz. Pittsburgh, at New England. Philly is home to the Rams. That should be a good game. Philly is favored by 3.5, a rematch of last year's very close playoff game. You've got Tampa hosting the Jets. Atlanta is on the road at Carolina. Jacksonville hosts Houston, off to a bad start, 0-2. Then the late games. San Francisco hosting Arizona. Kyle Shanahan, highly unlikely to see Brock Purdy starting at quarterback. That means Mac Jones will be the starter for the second week in a row against the Arizona Cardinals, who are 2-0, but not a really good-looking 2-0. Did not play well at New Orleans, beat a bad team. Came home, had Carolina on the ropes, let them back in the game. They won, but Arizona has not looked that good, although they are 2-0. So here you are. You have the NFC West with 3 teams at 2-0, and Arizona and San Francisco, something's got to give this weekend. Elsewhere, in the late window, Saints at the Seahawks. Dallas is at Chicago. You have the Sunday night game, the Chiefs and the Giants. And then the Monday night game could be the best game in the entire weekend, Detroit at Baltimore. Which Detroit Lions team is going to show up? The one in week 1 against Green Bay where they looked horrible, or when they dismantled and embarrassed a bad Bears team? Detroit at Baltimore, that should be a heck of a game on Monday night. Now, when you look at the standings, and yes, I'm well aware that there's a 17-game schedule, and you could get on a roll if you're 0-3, but let's be realistic about this, okay? The Dolphins are done. The Jets are 0-2. In the AFC North, Cleveland's 0-2. Houston's 0-2. Tennessee's 0-2. The Chiefs are 0-2. In the NFC, the Giants 0-2. The Bears 0-2. The Saints and the Panthers 0-2. And so when you look at the standings, if I was going to pick one team, only one team that's currently 0-2, that could go to 0-3 and make the playoffs, I'm going to surprise some people here. I'm going to say it's the Houston Texans. And the reason for that is I don't think that their division is very good. And I'm not yet a believer in the Colts at 2-0. So I could see that because I'm looking at their personnel. I'm looking at their coaching. And I know everyone's saying, well, what about Kansas City? Here's the problem with Kansas City. And I say problem, that's not the right word, but here's their situation. If they were to lose Sunday night to the Giants at the Meadowlands and go to 0-3, they've already lost a divisional game to the Chargers. And if the Chargers were to win this week, and again, that's if, taking on the Denver Broncos, if I didn't mention that game, by the way, I apologize, because I think that's going to be a heck of a game. If they were to go to 3-0, to be 3 games back, and you've already lost one game to the team that is 3-0, I'm not so sure that you can rebound from that. And here's the other deal. If you go on the road in what I think is a must-win game in September for the Kansas City Chiefs, and you don't win, all of a sudden, you're looking at a team that's won 9 straight division titles. Seems like you're in the Super Bowl every freaking year, right? And you're like, okay, you know what? They had their run, and their window is closing, and it's almost shut. And I know they have Andy Reid as the coach, and I know they have Mahomes, and I know that, you know, they're going to get Rice back in a couple of weeks and all, but I don't know if they're good enough to make up that kind of ground in that division. I mean, you still would, you have to play the Broncos twice. You have to play the Raiders twice. You have to play the Chargers again. You know, and I'm looking at some of their other games. They got a tough schedule here. You know, I'm looking at the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm not expecting them to lose to the Giants, but I don't know what Giants team is going to show up. But if I'm looking at this schedule, I don't see it. And the reason is, after the Giants, they play Baltimore. I don't think they're going to beat Baltimore. They have the Lions, and I'm not even going to mention their divisional games. They're at Buffalo. They're at Dallas. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't see it. I don't see it. So this is a must-win. Must-win. You are not going to make the playoffs coming home at 0-3 to take on the Baltimore Ravens, unless the Ravens get a rash of injuries this week. It's not going to happen. Just not. So this, to me, is a must-win game for the Kansas City Chiefs. As far as the Giants, it doesn't matter. They're not good enough to make the playoffs. And so for them, whether they win or lose, it's not a big deal to me. It's a big deal to Brian Daboll, the head coach. It's a big deal to the general manager, Joe Shane, but it's not a big deal if you're looking at the big picture. Because, again, they're not good enough. Let's just be honest here. They're not good enough. And the only question with the Giants right now is will their coaching staff survive, and Brian Daboll, and how soon will we see their first-round draft pick, Jackson Dart, the quarterback out of Ole Miss, get on the field. That's really the only story left to me when you talk about the New York Giants. No one's talking about the Giants in playoffs in the same sentence. That doesn't exist currently, all right? Just doesn't exist. So I'm looking at this schedule, and the games that I'm circling, I think the Monday night game in particular, okay? And then I think the Broncos and the Chargers game is going to be a very good game. Divisional game. I have not been impressed with Denver through 2 games. Week 1, not that impressive against Cam Ward and the Titans. Week 2, losing at the Colts. Their leverage 15-yard penalty on the kick that would have given them the win, but the defense could not stop the Colts. So I want to see if that defense can play the way they're going to have to play to beat Justin Herbert and the Chargers. So I think this is a very interesting game coming up on Sunday in the AFC West. So there's a little look, my little peek at the schedule this week. I want to hear from you, and what do you think at 916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. I want to bring in Rhino for a minute. Rhino, I think you have a different opinion than I do on the Chiefs, correct?
I do.
Okay, why?
Because it's Patrick Mahomes, but it's beginning to shrink more and more that I'm seeing him miss easy throws, more and more that I'm seeing breakdowns on that offensive line, and just misplays. Overall, Kelsey at the goal line. That's not Chiefs football, and we've seen it through 2 weeks so far in the NFL.
Do you think that the Chiefs at 0-3, assuming they were to lose for sake of conversation on Sunday night, it's going to go home and beat the Baltimore Ravens at 0-3? See, I just don't see that.
I just can't count them out. How can you count them out after the past 3 years? You know, nobody really thought they were going to make it back to the Super Bowl again, and boom, here we are. Last season. Now, they didn't win. It's a tough ask, but Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, I mean, I think, Grant, it's either going to go one or two ways. They're going to get hot and get right, or it's going to completely collapse. And this is going to be the year where it's like, okay, we take a step back, we still have Mahomes, and we relook at this thing.
Rhino, if they were to beat the Giants on Sunday, then, okay, they've righted the ship, but they still have a tough game. If Justin Herbert were to get hurt, then I would agree with you. Sure. They would have a chance, if they were to lose to the Giants, to kind of get back into the picture. But I'm looking at the Chiefs through 2 weeks. You know, they almost beat Philadelphia. I mean, if Kelsey catches that ball, correct, we might be talking about a Chiefs team that's 1-1, beating the Super Bowl champion Eagles. So they're not a bad team. I don't mean to make it sound like they're a bad team. I fully expect them to control the Giants. When I mean control, I think they win by a touchdown or more. The Giants on Sunday at Dallas had an explosive offense. They were able to move the ball up and down the field. Wilson was tremendous, Malik Neighbors. But the Giants, to me, they're I don't know what they are. I know what the Chiefs are. I'd be really surprised if the Chiefs do not win this game. I wouldn't be shocked because it's the NFL, but I'd be very surprised.
I would look to see if Russell Wilson's first big mistake is his first play or first drive, or if it comes on the last drive. If it's the last drive, then you guys are probably in the game, to be honest with you. It means he's playing decent, because make no mistake, that mistake is coming. Russell will always gamble one of those deep balls every single game, playing well, playing not, or playing well or not playing well. So it really comes down to that. And Malik Neighbors, just get him the darn ball, Grant. That's all you got to do. Get him the ball.
You get a kick out of this. I don't know if you watched my podcast last night, but I had a Seahawks fan reach out to me and ask me about their amazing start. I'm like, whoa. Amazing start. I go, they're 1-1. That's not an amazing start. I said, my buddy Rhino, who is a diehard Seahawks fan, I guarantee you he would not use the adjective that the Seahawks are off to an amazing start.
No, what comes to mind is floaties, light tube. Something along that line, no. But hey, it's a Seattle fan. It's realistic expectations early in the season. All
right. So then Miami at Buffalo last night. I thought Miami played pretty well. Again, a 15-yard penalty, I think, changed the entire momentum of that game.
Yeah.
Tua's interception was terrible. I mean, it's just he didn't look off the receiver once. He had his eyes exactly where he was going to throw the ball. Yeah. It was an easy pick for Buffalo. I guess the question is, did Mike McDaniel last night, and the fact that his team played so competitively against a Bills team, what was the spread? 12, 13 points going into that game? All right, so with a couple of minutes left to go, well, halfway through the fourth quarter, the game was up for grabs. He's still on thin ice, isn't he?
I don't think so.
No?
I've talked to a couple of people. I think he righted the ship enough last night with how he coached the game. I thought he made good decisions. I thought the up-tempo offense was a good idea. Tua, outside of that throw, played very well, many times throwing the ball before guys are out of their breaks. I thought that you saw some life from that team, and I think it probably continues, but I don't see them as anything more than mediocre.
All right, I'm talking to the red hot Ryan in Sac
Don't
Town.
talk about it. It's like a no-hitter, Nate.
No. I got to talk about it because I got to come back. I want you to lose and me to win. So even though you were on the same team, when it gets to be 540 and 545, you're not on my team anymore.
Fair
Okay.
enough.
All right.
Fair enough.
All right. So you're off to what's your total in 2 weeks against the number?
I am 8-1.
Wow. That's red hot, freaking on fire. So have you already made your picks? You got them all ready to go at 5:45 tonight?
I have 2 ready to go, but what I'm learning doing this segment with you is I need to have 6 ready to go because inevitably we're going to have crossovers. We'll keep it to 4 this week. How about you? You got your picks?
No, I haven't done them yet. I will, and I'm looking forward to them. We also will announce our winner of the $100 gift card to Bennett's Restaurants from last Friday's pick. So we've got that coming up as well in the final segment of the show.
Looking forward to it, buddy.
Me too. All right. Don't forget Bob Valvano coming up at 4 and Damon Bruce at 5. And with football back, so is your shot at big wins with DraftKings Pick 6, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Your game day instincts can score you real money fast. Here's the play. Simple. Just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats. You go to the DraftKings Pick 6 app. Just pick out a game, all right? For instance, you look at Green Bay at Cleveland. The total passing yards for Jordan Love. Are you going more or less? And here's the kickoff bonus. New DraftKings customers get $50 in bonus picks with just a $5 entry. The better your calls, the bigger your payout. This season, play your player instincts. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and be sure and use code KSAC. That's code KSAC. Play just $5, get $50 in Pick 6 bonus picks. Make the call. Ride the upside. In partnership with DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable. Pick 6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. Your calls next. 916-779-0929. Fox Sports Sacramento.
It's Laramie the Golden Retriever with Vince Bloom the big guy.
The weather's getting cooler, but at Folsom Lake Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, the deals are hotter than ever.
How do you mean, Vince?
It's the Drive Into Fall event, and prices are falling like leaves on every Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram in stock. Listen.
During the Drive Into Fall event at Folsom Lake Dodge, save over $6,500 net savings off MSRP on a new 2025 Jeep Wrangler 2-door Sport. That's over 17% off.
And I've got 5 at this hot deal.
Or rustle up over $10,000 off a new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. Over 19% off.
The Drive Into Fall at Folsom Lake Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Even Laramie knows now is the time for a deal. Right, Laramie?
At Folsom Lake Dodge.
In the Folsom Auto Mall and online at FolsomLakeDodge.com.
Wrangler includes $44.85 dealer discount plus $2,000 in national retail bonus cash. VIN SE 658348. Grand Cherokee includes $45.25 dealer discount plus $5,500 in national retail loyalty and select inventory bonus cash. VINs S8667701, 629,387, 669458. See dealer for details. Expires 9/30/25.
Hey, come on in.
Hi, Jack. In our subdivision?
Yeah, I saw your Suburban out front, so I thought I'd see how your kitchen and bath remodel was going.
We're delayed.
Oh, watch your step.
Waiting on subs.
Contractors?
Yeah.
Oh, so you didn't go with Kitchen Mart?
No, why?
Nothing. That's just why we went with Kitchen Mart. They don't use subs.
No subs?
No subs?
You know, with the exception of something very specialized, Kitchen Mart does everything in-house so they can finish on time and on budget. So your cabinets, countertops, plumbing, drywall, electric, and your contractor pulled permits, right? That's the law.
Was he supposed to?
Well,
You mean supposed to?
What'd I say?
Sub.
Sub?
Sub.
Remodeling your kitchen or bath? 20,000 ecstatic customers agree. No subs means Kitchen Mart's in-house designers, craftsmen, and installers do it right and finish on time and on budget. Kitchen Mart, with 2 showrooms in Sacramento and Rockland. Call 362-7080 or go to kitchenmart.net for a free home appointment.
Kitchen and bath, no one does it better than Kitchen Mart.
The most trusted name in kitchen and bath remodeling since 1976.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Chance Comanche and the arrest and the entire story as it related to playing with the Stockton Kings, and when Chance was arrested and that became public, and the story that ensued after. But without even getting into all of that, the story today in the New York Times was kind of like, what? All right? Like, what? So I want to get into this because I want to make sure I say this properly based on quotes. So Anjali Ranadive, the daughter of Vivek Ranadive, was put into a position as general manager of the Stockton Kings. And in the spring this past year, Sam Amick, Sam does a great job for The Athletic and is one of the top NBA writers in the country. Sam wrote a story, and in part of his story, and he went over the Mike Brown firing and everything else, talked about the relationship of Anjali Ranadive and Jeremy Lamb. Okay? So that became public in March. Jeremy Lamb was part of the Sabonis trade, played with the Stockton Kings, and according to Sam, and well, Sam was the first one to report it, I believe, talked about the relationship between Ranadive and Lamb. Now, the New York Times coming out with this story, okay, it's just like, what is going on? Okay, I want to read this. Cody Simmons, an athletic trainer with Stockton, said that Anjali and Comanche had been romantically involved. How about that? I mean, how about that? All right? Really? Think about it. I mean, come on now. Again? Seriously. That's in the New York Times today. I'm like, how embarrassing is this? Seriously. How embarrassing is this? I don't know what else to say. It's embarrassing. And the New York Times goes into further detail. I don't want to waste, too much talking about this other than that part of the article. It's unbelievable. Seriously. It's incredible. You got a general manager of the Stockton Kings having intimate relationships with players on the team. The second one, talking about Comanche, allegedly, because it's one individual that's on the record talking about it. I mean, what on earth? Seriously. Okay, here we go. Cody Simmons, an athletic trainer with Stockton, said that Angeli and Comanche had been romantically involved. 3 other people with direct knowledge of the situation confirmed their relationship. Quote, they were the closest 2 people of anybody in that organization, Simmons said. Quote, I believe that she liked him more than he liked her. She was with him out of love. I'm not sure what it was on his side. How embarrassing is this? I mean, and it goes on a long list of embarrassing decisions by the owner and managing general partner of the Sacramento Kings, Vivek Ranadive. And yes, we're well aware that he rode in on the white horse and kept the Kings in Sacramento. And all of us, or I'm speaking for what I think are most of us, are grateful that he was there in the biggest moment of need for the Sacramento Kings. He had already been vetted, which was so important because the NBA Board of Governors and David Stern, they were on a very, very, very strict deadline because of the deal that the Maloofs had made with the group up in Seattle. So the NBA vets their owners, and it is a lengthy, arduous process. It's not something that's done overnight or in a week. It is an arduous process. And so Vivek had already been vetted by the league because of his minority stake in the Golden State Warriors. Do I believe if Vivek had not been there, David Stern would have found another man, woman to come in and fill that role? Yes, I do. But I don't have a crystal ball. I'm only going by facts. So we'll never forget that. I won't. And I don't think we ever should. But since that point in time, Vivek Ranadive has been really, let's just call it the way it is, an embarrassment for an owner of the Sacramento Kings. He has no idea what he's doing. He has made bad move after bad move after bad move after bad move, beginning with his first move in hiring Michael Malone and then Pete D'Alessandro, instead of hiring a general manager first and then a coach. And hiring Pete D'Alessandro, to this day, in my 32 years of being involved on a day-to-day basis with the NBA directly, was the worst, most out-of-place, incompetent general manager, front office person that I've ever been around. Period. Michael Malone, as it turned out, as we know, great coach, should have never been fired. Pete should have been fired. And Michael Malone should have been the coach of the Kings for many, many years. And then it went on and on and on. Firing, giving general managers and coaches new contracts, firing them months later. Interfering, meddling. And anybody that tells you that that doesn't happen is naive. Sam Amick has pointed it out repeatedly on his stories in The Athletic. And again, Sam is unbelievably well connected. He's one of the best NBA writers that this country has. So when I read, again, a story like today in the New York Times, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the franchise. And the reason why I say it's embarrassing is because Angeli was put in that position by her father. Okay? So you have the general manager of the Stockton Kings, as first reported by Sam Amick of The Athletic, and now the New York Times talking about being romantically involved with more than one player on the Stockton Kings. First, it was Comanche, then Lamb, if I have my dates correct and the timeline correct. So, I mean, and by the way, Comanche is charged with murder in a trial that is ongoing, okay? So, I mean, think about that. And if you want to really read the story in the New York Times, it goes into much further detail about how basically, and I'm paraphrasing this, she was playing favorites with Comanche. Okay? So it wasn't just that they were, according to Simmons, romantically involved, but the story goes into detail about maybe playing favorites and doing things with Comanche as it relates to statistics and everything else and information that would have been different than the other players on the team. Again, as reported by the New York Times. So I bring this up because, not I want to, I hate talking about this stuff. I absolutely hate talking about it. I do. I don't like talking about this stuff, but I have to. And I have to because it's topical and it's in the current events. And then when the Stockton Kings had a great year and they won the championship, Vivek Ranadive put out on social media, congratulations to our 2024-25 NBA League champion Stockton Kings, thanks to at NANI, that's Angelie. All right, thanks to Angelie for setting us on this path. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. I don't know what else to say. I really don't. If you want to comment on it, go right ahead. But it's a pattern of embarrassments that I wish would stop for this franchise because the fans deserve so much better. I've said that, I always say that, and I will always be with the fans. The fans of the Sacramento Kings deserve so much better. They're loyal, they're passionate, they're with the team through good times, they're with the team through bad times. They talk about their team when things are going bad. They talk about their team when things are going good. They buy their tickets, they wear their gear, they support the team. I've said this, I've been blessed to live in a lot of different places. And I've been blessed to grow up in an area where there was professional sports just outside your window. And I was blessed to live in the Midwest and cover some great teams. And I was in St. Louis, and I still, to this day, that's the best baseball town I've ever been in. And I've been to Chicago, and I've covered the Bears when they won the Super Bowl. I mean, I've been to a lot of great sports towns. I've never experienced anything like Sacramento and their fans of the Kings. Just haven't. It's so special. And I told the story to Mike Breen when I had him on the radio show 2 weeks ago. When he came up to me after announcing a game, the Knicks were in Sacramento at Arco when the Kings were so good in the early 2000s. And he came up to me after the game and said, listen, if you ever get sick, can you please have your team call me? I'll fly all the way out here to do a game because I just love being in this building, in this atmosphere. Think about that. That's Mike Breen saying that. The announcer for the New York Knicks, who is the lead announcer for the NBA, saying that he would love to be in Sacramento at Arco to announce games. Like that's unbelievable, isn't it? And so, again, it's just move after move after move. And I was very open about this on my podcast with Ryan when the Kings lost to the Dallas Mavericks just a couple of months ago. And I was on If You Don't Like That, and I was doing the show with Rhino. And it was just moments after the Kings got blown out and embarrassed at home to the Mavs that it was announced that Monty McNair was stepping down. And then I believe it was Sham Charania of ESPN was the first to report that Scott Perry was on the horizon and that Scott Perry would be coming to Sacramento. And I said, it's really unbelievable that a general manager had already been hired while the season was still going on, while Monty McNair was still the GM, because let's just be honest, that's what happened. And that Scott Perry was told, I've been around Vivek Ranadive enough. I know how he does business. And I know his affinity and some others in the organization for Doug Christie. And I said, well, Scott Perry's coming to take the job. And he's already been told who his coach is. And you heard Scott Perry when he was introduced at his press conference talking about the coaching search and that his phone was ringing off the hook. Well, his phone might have been ringing off the hook, but the answer would be, I already have a coach. Okay? I'm sure he didn't say that to the candidates, but I already knew. So when Doug Christie was named as the permanent head coach, I wasn't surprised at all. I had told you 2 weeks earlier that he was going to be named head coach. Why? Because it's common sense. Because I know how the man operates. And again, that's a mistake. And I'm not wishing any ill will on Doug. What happened with me and Doug 5 years ago does not cloud my judgment, does not affect what I say about the Sacramento Kings and Doug's success or lack thereof. I'm only simply stating the obvious, okay? When you hire a general manager, the general manager needs to hire the coach that the general manager wants. If it is not done like that, it will not work, okay? Your general manager and your head coach have to be in lockstep. They have to be attached at the hip. They must be working together and have the same philosophy, the same beliefs, and they have to be in tandem. So you cannot hire a general manager and tell that general manager that you can't hire your own coach, that it's going to be this coach. Okay? Doesn't work. Doesn't work in football. Doesn't work in basketball. Doesn't work in hockey. All right? It does not work. So I keep on talking about this because everything seems to be done backwards there. And then when you get a story like this in the New York Times, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It is another, well, black eye for the organization to keep on reading these type of stories in national publications such as The Athletic and Sam Amick back in the spring. And now here we are with training camp getting ready to start right around the corner. And this story comes out in the New York Times. And what it does, it just once again puts your focus where it does not need to be. And it once again brings attention to the owner of the Sacramento Kings. It is what it is. All right. Before we go to break, I want to tell you about DAS Mechanical. And sitting down and having lunch with the owner, Nick, and learning about his business that is family owned and operated since 2018, I was asking him about, why they've been successful and what is it that they do so well. Because they serve the Sacramento and Placer counties, and they're HVAC retrofit and service specialists. They also do new systems. Ideal for homeowners, businesses for commercial maintenance, financing, outstanding, 0% interest for 18 months. But when I went on their website, I'm like, okay, I get it. I read all of their 5-star reviews, and then I looked at their best of the best awards, and I'm like, okay, I get it. And you can get something as well. How about up to $6,000 in rebates and federal tax credits on qualifying equipment? Be sure and take advantage of the $2,000 federal tax credit before it's set to go away at the end of the year. Go to dasmechanical.org, and remember, you'll get a thorough exam before they decide to replace your unit. They'll check out everything. You'll know everything that's going on every step of the way. D as in dog, A, S as in Sam, dasmechanical.org. You can book your appointment online at dasmechanical.org. Back with more, your phone calls, Fox Sports Sacramento.
Fox Sports Traffic, taking our first look at the roadways. Got a hit and run crash slowing things down on State Route 99 northbound right at Mack Road. Give yourself a couple of extra minutes to work your way through that mess. It's dealing with some heavy rush hour delays starting to form already, especially eastbound, westbound US 50 in between Howe Avenue and the I-5 interchange. Both directions are going to cost you about 25 extra minutes of drive time with twice an hour traffic. I'm Andy Bass for Fox Sports Sacramento.
Tired of the same old routine? Need a place where the beer flows and the good times roll? Then head to Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Family owned and operated, so you know you'll feel right at home. Catch all your favorite games on 18 big screens while enjoying amazing food. And with 28 beers on tap, you're sure to find something you love. And don't miss everyday happy hour from 3 to 7 and again from 10 till close. Looking for more than just the game? Trivia Tuesday starts at 7 p.m. And there's Mario Kart and bingo nights for even more fun, too. There's always a blast happening at Fieldhouse. Whether you're looking for a place to watch the game, grab a bite with the family, or just unwind with friends, Fieldhouse is the place to be. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Bring it to the house.
How bad does Cameron Cade want it?
Sports fans, finally a horror film with a football twist. Check out Him, the IMAX experience, playing this week at the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento.
In this game, violence is rewarded, so learn to enjoy it.
Greatness demands sacrifice. The next great quarterback descends into a world of terror and trains into something darker. The best theater to experience Him is on the Esquire IMAX Theater 6-story screen. Grab your reserved seats today at IMAX.com/Sacramento.
For nearly all of us, our home is our biggest investment. And just as important as what it looks like on the outside is what is happening on the inside. How long has it been since you had your home's electrical integrity checked? Whether your home is 10 or more years old or even a newer build, the safe rule of thumb is to get the electrical inspected at least every 5 years. At Gabroods, electrical work is all we do. We're the area's recognized experts. Panel replacements, whole house fans, generators, solar, and more. But home inspections are what we do most often. Whether you have a difficult electrical situation or it's just time to ensure your home and family are safe, call locally owned Gabroods for our thorough 12-point expert inspection. Gabroods, serving our Northern California neighbors for more than 30 years. Gabroods, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabroods, G-U-B-R-U-D-S, Gabroods.com.
Hey, it's Grant Napear for Village Financial Group. I have known broker owner Spencer Grimmenstein for 25 years, ever since he began his family-owned business. Whether it's a home equity line of credit or buying or selling a home, Spencer is a very creative financing specialist with access to private money. Check out Village Financial Group at bfgloans.com or call Spencer.
Hey, Grant, how are you?
Good, Ryan. Thanks for calling.
You bet. I wrote you on Twitter when I heard you're coming back to town, and one of the things that I wrote to you was I was so relieved that someone in the media would be in Sacramento now who would start to call out and question Vivek, because that has been something that our media has been avoiding for years. And when those of us that are truly in touch with the team and truly follow the team and pay attention to what's going on, see what the problem has been, we all can see that the problem consistently for 13 years has been Vivek, pointing the fingers at everyone else in the organization, running a chaotic organization, and finally having you back in town, having the courage to call out Vivek is such a relief. And I just want to say thank you.
Well, I really appreciate your call. I believe I'm being fair, and I believe I'm being objective when I'm doing this. I want Sacramento Kings to succeed. I mean, it was my life for 32 years. It was like my family away from my family. Like, I want them to succeed. But this is embarrassing, and it continues to be embarrassing. And you said 13 years. I can't believe it's been that long already since he purchased the team. I mean, it just doesn't seem that long. But Like, it's just been one bad move after another. And again, this is embarrassing for the franchise. This is just another stain on his tenure as owner of the Sacramento Kings. Now, is that going to have anything to do with the direct wins and losses with the team this year? No, but it's perception, not only in Sacramento, which unfortunately has become reality, but it's around the league. And the league is like a fraternity. There are no secrets. And what it does is it just makes it more difficult to acquire talent. It just makes it more difficult for players to say, oh, I want to go play there. Like, it's a domino effect. It's just not good.
It's not good. And what I think the difference is today has been the reputation that Vivek and the Kings have had in his 13 years as an owner has been stupid basketball decision after stupid basketball decision after stupid basketball decision, pointing the finger at Mike Brown, pointing the finger at Mike Malone, pointing the finger at Monty McNair, and just kind of laughing at how bad of an owner and how bad of a basketball mind Vivek has been. Today it feels different. And it feels like this potentially could be the beginning of a path to get Vivek to sell the team and move on and wash his hands of the situation, which I think would be great for Sacramento. And I hope Vivek will think it's great for him and his family as well.
I'm going to tell you what I think the biggest problem has been with the Sacramento Kings. And you could use the Maloofs as an example of how I'm wrong. But I believe that the next owner, whomever that may be and whenever it may be, needs to be a local individual or group. I am so tired of having owners come into Sacramento that know nothing about the fan base, know nothing about the community, know nothing about the fabric of the community and running the basketball team. To the Maloof's credit, at least they moved to Sacramento and spent a lot of time in Sacramento. Yes, they were also in Vegas, but at least they bought houses and lived in the community for many more days than people thought. But they were still outsiders. The only true Sacramentan to ever own the team was Greg Lukenbill, who purchased the team from Kansas City and did pretty much everything himself in terms of Arco Arena 1, Arco 2. He was amazing, and I love the man. I just love Greg Lukenbill. But then you had Jim Thomas, right? Then you have the Maloofs. And now you have Vivek, who is a Bay Area guy. He's not a Sacramentan. He doesn't understand, still to this day, doesn't understand the community, in my opinion. And I just hope that whenever that day comes, that there is a local owner or ownership group that has deep enough pockets that could run this basketball team on behalf of this great community that understands the fan base and understands the community. That is my number one wish list for this organization.
That would be incredible. I just question if there is anyone in Sacramento or even a group in Sacramento that could afford to buy the team from Vivek.
Yeah, again, I don't know the answer to that question. I'm just saying that would be my wish list. And the other aspect of this, Ryan, and I really appreciate you taking the time to call the show, Vivek has made no overtures that he's even contemplating selling the team. And knowing him and the fact that, he likes being around famous people all the time, this is the only way that he can be around famous people all the time, is being an NBA owner. And I just don't see him selling the team. I would be very surprised if that happens in the near future.
Thank you, Grant. Appreciate it. Let's hope for it. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Ryan in Sacramento. Good call here on this Friday. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I hate talking about this stuff. I really do. And the reason why I say that is, listen, I've been on Sacramento radio since 1995, with the exception of the last 5 years. So I've gone through everything. Okay. I really have. I've gone through everything. And I just am so hoping that the majority of the news that I can put over these airwaves as it relates to the Kings is positive rather than negative. But I mean, I see a story like this come out in the New York Times. And again, the move of putting his daughter in that position as general manager of the Kings raised eyebrows everywhere. It's like, what? Like, it raised eyebrows everywhere. I mean, it was talked about not only in Sacramento, but it was talked about in other parts in the sports conversation on the internet and social media. and in the national media around the country. A lot of people had raised their eyebrows, like, what? And then you see this story come out. You see Sam Amick from The Athletic and his story that I believe was in March, talking about Angeli and Jeremy Lamb and everything else. And you're like, it's embarrassing, right? And listen, I'm not naive. I understand that there are relationships that begin in the workplace and happen every day in the workplace. I get that. I'm not stupid. But when you're the general manager of a professional sports team, even though it's the minor leagues for sake of conversation in the Kings, come on. Really? I mean, come on. You're having a intimate relationship with an individual on the team, and now in this case, it's now been documented two, one being Comanche and then Jeremy Lamb. It's like, what's going on here, right? Like, it's unbelievable. Rhino, I know you cover the Stockton Kings a lot, and I hope this doesn't take away from the great achievement of winning the championship.
No, this is stuff that has happened in the past. Gabriel Harris and the entire team down there has done a fabulous job over the last couple years. The one thing I wanted to point out, Grant, is we talked about Bobby Marks's rankings for the outlooks for teams over the next 3 years, and the Kings had ownership at 30. It was worst in the league, and Bobby Marks also said earlier in the offseason when he did his prediction for the Kings offseason that he believed, in speaking with other people around the team and other people around the league, when the question was posed, would Vivek Ranadive walk away from the Kings for 2 years with no contact, knowing that he would come back to a winning basketball team that is in the playoffs? The answer was no. He went bold enough to say that on the air. So to Ryan's point about the media not reporting, the national media has done a really good job of pointing these things out.
One slight correction I'm going to say. The category was management.
Management, thank you.
Okay, which does include ownership, but it also is he's talking about front office as well. So I want to make that distinction. I want to make sure that we're clear here. Bobby Marks put the Kings 30 out of 30 teams in the category of management. I take management to be front office and ownership. He had him at 30. 30.
And most of those decisions are made from the top down, right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
But yes, thank you for that correction.
I would love to get, onto sports if we could, because, all right, now I've covered it. We've moved on. I'm always open to discuss this. I mean, you know how I operate. 916-779-0929. I talk about what you want to talk about. This is not my show. It's our show. So we can talk about whatever you want. I would like to say that we are going to move on in the next hour with Bob Valvano, somebody that I've known for 27 years, of course, tremendous basketball family, and his brother Jimmy V and the Jimmy V Foundation and everything that Bob Valvano does and continues to do both on the air and off the air. He's a great man. I can't wait to talk to him. He's just a lot of fun to listen to. That's going to be coming up in the next segment. Then at 5 o'clock, Damon Bruce. Talk about the 49ers, the Giants, who are on life support after losing last night in L.A. Going to be very difficult for them to make it into the postseason. When we return, though, Bob Valvano, right here, the Grant Napear Show on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Fox Sports traffic, disabled vehicle left lane blocked, I-80 westbound right at Yolo Causeway, backed up to about Capitol Avenue, Enterprise Boulevard. Give yourself about 20 extra minutes to work your way through there. Heavy rush hour delays, especially on I-5 northbound and southbound in between Del Paso Road as you make your way down to about Sutterville Road, adding about 25 to 30 minutes of drive time on I-5 northbound and southbound. With twice an hour traffic, I'm Andy Bass for Fox Sports Sacramento.
It's Laramie the Golden Retriever with Vince Bloom the Big Guy.
The weather's getting cooler, but at Folsom Lake Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, the deals are hotter than ever.
How do you mean, Vince?
It's the Drive Into Fall event, and prices are falling like leaves on every Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram in stock. Listen.
During the Drive Into Fall event at Folsom Lake Dodge, save over $6,500 net savings off MSRP on a new 2025 Jeep Wrangler 2-door Sport. That's over 17% off.
And I've got 5 at this hot deal.
Or rustle up over $10,000 off a new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. Over 19% off.
The Drive Into Fall at Folsom Lake Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Even Laramie knows now is the time for a deal. Right, Laramie?
At Folsom Lake Dodge.
In the Folsom Auto Mall and online at folsomlakedodge.com.
Wrangler includes $44.85 dealer discount plus $2,000 in national retail bonus cash. Then SE 6583.48. Grand Cherokee includes $45.25 dealer discount plus $5,500 in national retail loyalty and select inventory bonus cash. VINs S866 7701 629 387 66 94 58. See dealer for details. Expires 9/30/25.
Looking for the ultimate night out? Welcome to HQ Showgirls, Sacramento's premier adult gentlemen's club. We're the only topless club between Reno and San Francisco serving alcohol, beer, wine, and champagne. All inside over 6,000 square feet of pure excitement. Planning a party or a VIP night? Call our VIP manager now at 916-389-0199 to book your table. Come experience the energy at HQ Showgirls, 851 Richards Boulevard, Sacramento. Open 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Sunday through Thursday and until 4 a.m. Friday and Saturday. Visit hqnightclub.com, where the night begins and never stops.
Business owners, Grant Napier's back, bringing Fox Sports Radio to the forefront of sports talk in Sacramento. That means more listeners, more potential customers who could be spending money for your products and services. This is Kurt Bagelman, General Manager for Fox Sports Radio in Sacramento. Grant's back, and his return is an opportunity for your business. Listen, the sports talk audience is a target-rich group of consumers. 80% are employed. Nearly 60% earn six-figure incomes. 67% own their homes. Take advantage of the attention Grant's return has generated to tell people where to spend their money. This is a unique opportunity to increase your sales right now. It costs nothing to learn how a good strategy and a great commercial message heard by sports fans could help your business. So call me, 916-779-0914. 779-0914. Radio and Grant get results, and we are here to help. Call 779-0914.
Sacramento, we've got our guy.
Grant Napier.
Grant Napier's back, beginning weekdays at 3 p.m. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM, Sacramento.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Grant's back, and here to win. It's the Grant Napier Show on Fox Sports Radio Sacramento. Now, Grant Napier.
Hour number 2 on a busy Friday. Waiting to get in touch with Bob Valvano. Don't forget Damon Bruce is coming up. We'll talk about no Brock Purdy starting for the second week in a row for the 49ers. Mac Jones is going to be the guy taking on Arizona, and also about the Giants and what a game that's going to be tonight with Clayton Kershaw on the bump after announcing his retirement. Wow. That's going to be a heck of a game tonight in L.A. Dodgers and the Giants, but the Giants right now are in a lot of trouble. They are in a lot of trouble. They really are. I mean, because it's not only like the Mets, and I don't have any idea what the heck's going on with the Mets. I can't figure them out. I really can't. But when you look at the wild card, it's not only, catching the Mets. Now you have the Reds and you have the Diamondbacks in front of you. And yet they have an easy schedule next week with the Cardinals and the Rockies at home. But again, they've got 3 games still remaining with the Dodgers tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. So hopefully we can connect with Bob. And when we do, we'll get him on. And then Damon Bruce is coming up at 5 o'clock after my rant. And then Rhino and I are going to have our picks. Can't wait for that. We're going to be doing our picks. The red hot Ryan in Sacktown somehow is 8-1 when we're only supposed to pick 4 games a week, but that's okay. He's 8-1. When you're that hot, pick the extra games. When you're on fire, pick the extra games. Oh my gosh. I love it. So we'll be doing that. We'll also have the winner of the $100 gift card to Bennett's Restaurants. Yes, Rhino's destroying me early on through 2 weeks. Thank goodness the season goes on all the way through January. All right, again, we talk about the baseball scoreboard. The Reds are on top of the Cubs early in the second inning, 1-0. And again, the Nationals and the Mets are going to have their game start in about 10 minutes. The Mets trying to take advantage of a horrible Nationals team to solidify their wild card spot. A lot of things going on in the NL West, Padres and White Sox from the South side. And as we told you, the Giants and the Dodgers. You got the Mariners and Astros. What a big series that is in the American League West. Well, I don't really have talked about that because a lot of people in this area aren't that dialed in. It's like, don't really care. But that is, that's a heck of a race going on. Seattle and Houston have the same record at 84-69, and Texas is pretty much out of it in terms of the division. But Seattle and Houston tied at 84-69. All right. Again, while we wait for Bob, if you want to give us a call, do so. 916-779-0929. Again, that is 916-779-0929. Couple of things. You remember we were talking with Kenny Albert, and Kenny was talking about Steve Albert, his uncle, and I've known Steve, and he's going to be coming on the show next week on Thursday at 3:30. Talk to him about some of the great boxing matches that he's called, along with his new book. So I'm looking forward to that. Spud Webb also texted me. Spudster. So Spud is going to be joining me at some point next week once I nail him down. He texted me earlier today and goes, how about next week? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I love talking to Spud. He's a great, great interview and dear friend of mine. Love the man. So he's going to be coming on hopefully next week as well. Steve Sands from the Golf Channel and NBC Sports is going to be coming on with me. So I'm really much looking forward to that. All right. Steve Sands will preview the Ryder Cup. That is going to be some weekend on Long Island. That is going to be something else. What do you think? The Americans or Europe? Who's got the better team? Who do you think is going to win? What do you think? All right. Again, give me a call as we wait for Bob Valvano at 916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. And let's talk some football, all right? Because I want to talk about not only the NFL, but college. What do you think about the 49ers in Arizona? I have not been impressed with the Cardinals. I said that earlier in my open. I'm not impressed. They did not look good on the road in week 1, all right? They did not look good in week 2. And here we are, week 3, and we're looking at the Arizona Cardinals at San Francisco with Mac Jones at quarterback. So, I mean, I got to believe they're going to beat Arizona. I believe they're going to beat Arizona. You know, Jones looked pretty good against New Orleans. A little bit of a rocky start, but then he really settled down. So why would I think that they're not going to beat Arizona, who has not looked good in the 2 games? But again, you got 2 teams that are undefeated, and you got the Rams that they've got a road game. They're 2-0. That division looks pretty tough right now. I mean, Seattle is the only team with a loss, and they might be the best team in the division. That's the way I look at it. Think about that. Seattle's 1-1, and they might be the best team in that division. And I'm looking at the schedule this week. You know, why would I think that Seattle's going to lose? They got New Orleans. They're not going to lose at home to New Orleans in all likelihood. I know it's the NFL. I get all of that. But you got the Rams at Philadelphia. And I'm looking at the Rams. This is going to be a hard game for them, a rematch of the playoffs. But I'm going to pick Philadelphia in this game. So you could have the winner of this game on Sunday in Santa Clara have a nice little cushion there in terms of just coming out of the gate strong and being undefeated. So we got all of that. Again, Giants tonight. What a scene that's going to be in L.A. when Clayton Kershaw gets to the mound. That is going to be an amazing scene as Kershaw is in his final year, announcing that this week. All right, let's get to some phone calls. Let's say hello to Matt in L.A. What's going on, Matt?
Grant, hey, I was listening to the last hour. Well, weird and wild stuff going on down in Stockton, huh? Stockton and Gomorrah, I guess you could call it. But I digress, man. I was calling because you hit that point.
Hey, Matt, I got to
Dodgers
tell you,
were
Matt, I'm
giants.
going to have you, Matt, stop for a minute. I'm going to have you call back. You're very muffled, and I'm having a really difficult time hearing what you're saying. So call back, and hopefully we get a better connection, buddy. All right? And then we can talk. Again, those numbers are 916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. I got a text message earlier. How can I listen to the show outside of the area? Again, the best way is download the Fox Sports KSAC app. You can also stream the show on YouTube on the Fox Sports Sacramento radio channel. All right. So you can stream it every day, whatever is your preference. But there are a lot of different ways to listen to this show. Again, a lot of people are listening on the app, Fox Sports KSAC, or you can, again, go to YouTube. You can stream the show on Fox Sports Sacramento KSAC. Easy to do. All right. Thanks for asking. For the people that are still reaching out, I know that the show is still relatively new, and we're getting new people that are listening every day, and they're like, "Hey, how can I do this? How can I do that?" And I appreciate the questions. We're trying to provide you with the best platforms to listen. And my man Rhino, the red hot Rhino, who's 8-1, behind the controls and my on-air contributor, he's the one that's working on all of this. Rhino, are you getting enough sleep these days, buddy?
Sleep? How do you spell that, Grant?
That's a good question. I guess the answer to that would be no, you're not. Because you're working around the clock, man, doing all this stuff. You're doing a hell of a job. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. This isn't work. This is love. This is fun. Doing it for free would do it for free. So happy to be here as we continue on the show. Download the app, like Grant says.
Yeah, be careful about saying you would do it for free. Management is listening, okay? So just be careful.
Yeah, well, you still owe management some squats, buddy, if you're going to be the Derrick Henry of the station. So just remember that.
Great point. All right. Again, give me a shout right here at 916-779-0929. Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley. I don't know who I am anymore. But I'll tell you right now, I'm good to be Saquon. I'm good to be Henry, whatever. I can do it. I don't think I can do the squats anymore. I think I'm past. I don't see it. I have a lower back issue. I got to be careful if I'm doing squats. I try to work out. I try to swim, go for walks. I don't know about the squats. That would not be good for Napear. No. That would not be good at all. I don't think that would be good for my health. So we'll bypass all of that. Can't do it. No way. Can't do it. All right. Again, 916-779-0929. I also want to say thank you to all of you who called yesterday talking about your best sports travel stories. I really enjoyed that. That was a really fun couple of hours, and I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. All right, let's see if Matt sounds better now from L.A. Matt, go ahead.
Grant, I apologize. I'm in a better area, I think, now.
Yeah, now you sound great.
Yeah, I was saying weird and wild stuff, to quote the great Johnny Carson, going on down in Stockton with all that stuff. But like you were saying, man, we've seen it, most recently in Toronto, right? Or Boston, a few places. So it's crazy. But I wanted to touch on the Dodgers. Like you said, Dodgers-Giants, Kershaw's final start at the Ravine. It's going to be one electric night as the Dodgers pull the plug on that Giants life support that you were talking about. Those dwarfs in the wharf are going to go home just the way they should. Losers, because they can't beat L.A., and they can't be L.A. Grant, we're too deep. We are coming together at the right time. And for all the no-Cal haters, I hate to tell you, man, it's going to be a long Matt-tober. Hey, Grant, keep up the good work, man. I'm listening to you on that KSAC app, and it's awesome, man. Fox Sports, the Grant Napear Show, awesome. Rhino,
thank you, buddy.
Love you guys, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. By the way, the Dodgers, they ought to be where they're at, considering that their payroll. You ready for this, Rhino? How about like $350 million, their 2025 payroll?
Incredible. What's Ohtani? He's about a tenth of that?
Yeah, they're
more.
Well, him and Yamamoto and Glasnow, they're among the highest paid players on the roster. I don't even know what they're at, but their opening day payroll was $354. Let's not forget about the 0.8 because that's important.
It's important.
The $354.8 million, highest payroll in baseball. So, like, why am I surprised that the Dodgers are in first place, and why am I surprised that they're the favorites to win the World Series? They should be with a payroll like that, and of course, what they did last year.
Sure. And what do you say to Rob Manfred, who's hinted at a hard cap in baseball? I know Bryce Harper did not take kindly to that.
No, he did not. Well, I think it would be great for the sport, but I think that once you have this type of system in Major League Baseball, I just don't see that being collectively bargained, where the players that are the Juan Sotos of the world, and there are so many others, are going to go for a hard cap. I don't know if it's practical. I don't know if you would ever get that agreed upon, which means you could have a long, long work stoppage. By the way, Ohtani's base salary this year is $70 million. Is that enough? $70 million, folks. How about that? And, he deserves it. I think he's the best player in baseball. He's the most unique player in baseball. He's absolutely unbelievable. He really is. Absolutely unbelievable. So that is going to be an incredible scene tonight. An incredible scene tonight in L.A. with Clayton Kershaw taking the hill at Dodger Stadium for the last time during the regular season. All right. Again, I talk about my 1998 going to ESPN Radio in Bristol, Connecticut, 3 weekends a month during the NBA lockout. I met so many great people, and one of my favorites is on right now, does a phenomenal job on talk radio with sports, commentating college basketball at Louisville and other games, and a really good friend, Bob Valvano. Bob, welcome to the show. How are you?
Grant, I can't believe you'd still say that after I stood you up at 7 o'clock Eastern time, 4 o'clock your time. I apologize. But I didn't forget you. I had to hustle to a phone, but I managed to make it. So,
well, I appreciate that.
How are you?
I'm doing good, Bob. It's good to talk to you. For someone that watches so much basketball, and would it be fair to say you watch more college than professional? You're more college than in the NBA?
Yeah. I mean, between doing the University of Louisville games and my ESPN package, I do between 50 and 55 games a year. So, yeah, I'm doing a lot more. I've only in my entire career at ESPN done maybe 3 or 4 NBA games. So there's no question I'm doing a lot more college basketball than I am NBA, no doubt.
Well, the reason why I ask, I've been critical of the way the NBA game is played now, and I don't enjoy it nearly as much. But then I got to tell you, when I watch college basketball, I have the same feelings when I watch the college game. So I wanted to get you, because you've been involved in the game really your entire life. If you had the power, if you had a magic wand to do anything you wanted to the sport of basketball, would you make some changes, and what changes would they be?
Honest to God, it's going to sound like I'm doing a Gregory Hines here, tap dance on you, because I've given this a lot of thought, and I don't know what the answer is. I know exactly what you're saying, though. It has become, and here's what I mean. It starts with the three-point shot, because what do you do with the three-point shot? If you move it back, you make it exactly what it wasn't supposed to, it's not designed to be, which is a gimmick. That's what a lot of people perceived it as when it came into the game, but it's not supposed to be a gimmick. I mean, I remember, you're not as old as I am, but you remember when Dean Smith and my brother Jim were in the ACC, they had that three-point line that was inside the top of the circle. I mean, and that was because Dean Smith believed that if it was going to be useful, it couldn't be a shot that only a couple of three guys could take. It had to be a shot that was part of your regular offense, designed to open up the middle. Well, now you go to games, and I get there as we do when we broadcast, a good couple hours before the game, and you go out on the court. Everybody is shooting three-point shots. I mean, it's not like one or two guys. It's the forwards, the centers, a couple of the managers, and assistant coach. They're all out there shooting three-point shots. So I mean, it's become and I don't blame them. It's become a shot that is just in everybody's arsenal. So now they come down. You know that. I'm not telling you or your listeners anything they don't know. We used to teach guys to come down on the break. When you hit the foul line extended, plant that outside foot, go at a 45-degree angle to the block. That's UB Brown school. You had to attack the basket from above the block. Now, nobody does. They run to the corner. That's what they all do. And why shouldn't they? Because you get 3 points for that shot, and it's a shorter shot than a three-point shot on the outside. So the only thing that I've heard that makes some sense to me, and I wish I could tell you who came up with it. Maybe you've heard it already, because I always like to give credit when I'm stealing an idea is get rid of the short corner shot.
Yep.
The 3-point line, have it go out of
Yep.
bounds, essentially.
Yep.
If you don't shoot it from up high, then it's not. That might do something. I'd be willing to see that as an experiment.
Well,
But beyond
the guy that I
I
did-
don't know what the answer is.
Jerry Reynolds, who I worked with on TV for years, former coach, former general manager, made that comment on TV years ago when we were doing a game, and it makes perfect sense. All you would have to do is when the arc stops becoming an arc and turns into a straight line, eliminate that straight line to the baseline, which means that whole area is not a 3-point shot, it's a 2-point shot. And Jerry made a great point, and it's the same in college. It's too easy of a shot for these guys. I mean, it's not a hard shot. And Bob, as you know, you just explained it. You come down on a 3-on-1 break. I see it all the time when I watch the NBA. You come down on a 3-on-1 break, and the game plan is to pass the ball out into the corner for a 3. That's not the way the game was meant to be played.
Well, it's not an entertaining way anyway. I mean, I don't think fans like to see it played that way. I really don't. I mean, I don't think, there's a stat, I can't remember. You probably know it because you've done a lot more NBA than I have. But I think Steph Curry, didn't he take more threes individually one year than entire teams? I thought back in when the 3-point shot was.
I believe you're right. I believe it's correct. Yes.
So obviously it was considered kind of gimmicky back then. But as people began to understand, it wasn't a gimmick and correctly incorporated into their regular offensive schemes. Well, now you've got too much of a good thing.
Yeah.
And so I think we got to find a balance. I would like to see them try that. And yet, the beauty of that also, by the way, which is not an insignificant thing, is whenever you talk about overhauling rules, it's easy to say, let's overhaul it for the NBA or for the Power 6 leagues or Power 5 leagues, there is left in basketball. But you got to do it for everybody. And I coached at the small college level for a long time. And if you're making them have to overhaul their whole facilities and have their floors redone and everything, I'm telling you, they fight back, and I don't blame them. This would be a very minor thing. It's just eliminating, like you said, that straight line that goes from the sideline down to the corner. I think that would help. So I'd love to see them try that with some of the summer events or the preseason tournaments.
Bob, if Shaquille O'Neal were 18 years old and entering LSU, how do you think he would be used with the way the game is played today? And if he were in the NBA this year as a rookie, I mean, these coaches and the analytics would not all of a sudden have him to shooting threes, would they? See, that's the part of the game I don't understand. It's just like back to the basket, low post basketball. It's almost disappeared. I'm like, it drives me crazy.
Well, it has disappeared for the most part because most of the players that come up don't have, Shaquille O'Neal's body type and physical skill. And so they're more effective, actually, if they can learn to go. And my brother had a player, you probably remember, a guy who had a long NBA career, Jeff Ruland. Jeff Ruland was a monster. And, Jeff played the whole game within 8-10 feet of the basket. My guess would be, you'd use them the same way. I mean, you can't, I don't know, it's kind of like taking Martin Gramatica and saying, well, let's turn him into a wide receiver. And that's what he is. That's what these guys are, back to the basket players. And, that's what you'd play 4 around 1. You'd probably play 4 around 1 rather than 5 out. But, they would still dominate the game. There'd still be a place. But you're right. The guys that are coming up now, even the big, strong guys, they're out there shooting threes. And like I said, I don't blame them because that's where the money is right now.
I want to get your memory. We go back in time. One of my really close friends is Spud Webb, who I got to know when he played here in Sacramento. He's coming on the show next week. I say Spud Webb and the connection with your brother in NC State. But when I say Spud's name, what comes to mind?
He's just a lovable guy. I mean, a great story my brother used to tell all the time is, his assistant who was out there with you for a long time in Sacramento, Tommy Abatamarco, was the guy recruiting him. And they went to the airport, and my brother was with him. And when Spud came off the plane to pick him up, Jimmy turned to Tommy and said, "If that's Spud Webb, you're fired."
Oh my God. What a classic that is.
You can ask, but I'm sure he knows that. Of course, then they saw him play. They were like, well, no, he's fine. He was, you want to know what goes into my head? My niece was maybe, I don't remember, 4 or 5 at the time. She had the biggest crush on him, and he was so nice to my nieces, and he was so exciting to watch. He's just a top shelf guy in every way. He was a great player, was a physical freak that could, dunk the ball the way he could, but he also was a good shooter. and he was just a wonderful, wonderful guy. I don't want to talk about like he's dead. I mean, he is a wonderful guy, but he is. But you know, he's one of he was one of our family's favorites and one of my brother's favorites. Say hello to him for me when you get him on.
I will. I got to tell you, like I'm supposed to finish the rest of this interview, and I could just picture Jim saying that if that's Spud Webb, you're fired. What a classic! I mean, seriously. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know,
you see a 5'6" guy who's built like a tongue depressor getting off the plane, and you say, "What are you doing to me? Are you trying to get me fired?" So, yeah, that's funny.
Oh my gosh. Final thing for you.
Okay.
1998, and going and doing shows with you and John Clayton and Tony Bruno and Chuck Wilson and Joe D and so many people that I met. To this day, that experience that I had was one of the best, most memorable things that I've ever done in my career.
Well, there's no question there, and there's no reason to pose a question because my response is going to be simple. I agree with you. That was a wonderful time. Great guys, unbelievably talented guys, fun and funny. And I got to be honest with you. Again, real quick, quoting my brother, who I took so much from. My brother Jim used to say that there's only so much weight in the world, which I love. So that, like, if you've got somebody around you who's losing weight, you better be careful because you're going to put it on. Because if not, the world's going to get out of balance, and then it'll start wobbling on its axis, and you'll have all sorts of problems. So what's that got to do with the radio? What it's got to do with the radio is I just gave up my daily show here. So you owe me a debt of gratitude because there's only so many words that you can say without the world getting out of balance. So now I got out and you got back in. So we balanced it out. So I think that's a really cool thing that there's only so many words, and I'm glad you're back in. Yeah, but you know what? That actually is a very typical of me roundabout way to answer your question, because that was when it was fun. And one of the reasons I stopped doing it, first of all, I've been doing it, as you said, since '98. I mean, there's only so many words the person could say. I mean, it's time to take a little breather. So I gave up my daily show. I'm going to do a once weekly show, and I'll still do all the basketball games. But the point being, they understood that you can be fun and funny and have a camaraderie and laugh and still do justice to the game itself, to the event, to the players. Those were the guys. You're that way. That's how they were. That's when it was fun for me. It's not as much fun. I'm sorry. I'm not offending your listeners, but it's not as much fun. It's the list. There's a whole bunch of listeners with sports radio right now. Is just a game of gotcha. That's all they want to do. They want to listen to play gotcha. Did you say something wrong? Did you say something inaccurate? Can they call you a name? They're hiding behind the anonymity of the internet, and it's not fun. It's not. I was a byproduct of my parents and my brother. I had somebody say, your brother's a fun monkey. That's what he was. He was a fun monkey. He liked to have fun at everything, even when you were doing serious business, coaching teams or trying to find a cure for cancer. But still, you can try and have some fun along the way. And sports radio was an extension of playing and coaching for me. And it's not quite that way anymore. It's a matter of let's get on and fight over ridiculous things. I often said, and I really believe you could do this. You're talented enough. You could do this. I was going to do this, excuse me, as a prank once. And that is to say, okay, listeners, heads or tails? What do you think? Heads or tails? And then say, I was a captain. If you don't call heads, you're absolutely disrespecting your team. We say heads up. We don't say tails up. We say that guy's a real horse's tail if he's a bad guy. So if you call tails, you're a loser. And I know somebody would take it seriously. I was going to count how many texts we'd get from people who would respond to that, because that's what it is. That's what it's become. And it's not as much fun. But you're a good voice, an intelligent voice, a passionate voice, and I'm glad you're back in it, my friend. Glad you're back.
Bob, great to catch up with you. All the best, all right? Stay safe, and hopefully we can do it again in the not-too-distant future. Be well. Have a great weekend.
You too, and next time I promise I'll be on time. Thanks.
Okay. Take care, Bob. That's Bob Valvano. Thank you. Right here on Fox Sports Sacramento. Love that. How about Spud Webb walking off the plane? And Jimmy V telling Tommy, if that's Spud Webb, you're fired. Oh, my gosh. I love doing this. We'll be right back on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Fox Sports Sports Traffic. We are still working a couple of issues and some heavy rush hour delays that you have to contend with. That earlier disabled vehicle on I-80 eastbound at Yellow Causeway has been wrapped up. You still got stop-and-go traffic pretty much from top of the town freeway out there. So give yourself that extra bit to work your way through that. Cap City Freeway eastbound, westbound, in between Fulton Avenue and down to about the 50 interchange. You two are dealing with about a 30-minute drive time. With twice-an-hour traffic, I'm Andy Bass for Fox Sports Sacramento.
Traffic brought to you by Gabroods Electrical. Homeowners, for any electrical project you need done, trust the good dudes at Gabroods. Locally owned, 5-star service experts, and always transparent prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues with Gabroods. GUBRUDS.com.
How bad does Cameron Cade want it?
Sports fans, finally, a horror film with a football twist. Check out Him, the IMAX experience, playing this week at the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento.
In this game, violence is rewarded. So learn to enjoy it.
Greatness to man's sacrifice. The next great quarterback descends into a world of terror and trains into something darker. The best theater to experience Him is on the Esquire IMAX Theater 6-story screen. Grab your reserved seats today at IMAX.com/Sacramento.
Downtown Ford of Sacramento has been in business since 1911. And as the oldest Ford dealership in California, we've provided cars and trucks for generations of Sacramento families. And you may not know it, but Downtown Ford provides the emergency vehicles for just about every law enforcement agency in the Sacramento region. Providing vehicles for emergency responders is a tradition of service we're truly proud of. And today, Downtown Ford has expanded to include their Howe Avenue location. So with 2 Ford stores and literally acres of new and certified pre-owned vehicles in stock, we definitely have the Ford that you've been dreaming of. And if you're not quite ready to get into the brand new Ford of your dreams, we probably have a certified pre-owned version of the same vehicle for substantial.
I was like, he doesn't enjoy doing live radio that much anymore. You know, when I can hear lines like that, I do live radio 24 hours a day. That's better than a comedy show. I mean, seriously. Oh, the late Jim Valvano. Wow. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Rhino, is that a classic or what? Seriously. Is that just unbelievable?
Through 3 weeks of the show, that is on the small list of all-timers right now. Like when we have inevitably a best of like over the holidays, that will be there.
Thanks, buddy. All right, give me a call, 916-779-0929, and we will put you on. Don't forget Damon Bruce right after Grant's rant at 5 o'clock, and then at about 5:40 or so, I will do my picks with Rhino. And we'll see if we can cool off Rhino. Red hot. Rhino is on fire. 8-1. How about that? That's like unbelievable against the number. That's good stuff. All right. Let's move along. Take some phone calls. Right here, we get to Folsom. How are you? Welcome to the show. How's everything going?
Hey, Grant. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing okay. Long time Bills fan here, last 35 years. Suffered a lot of torture, been through a lot of torture. They've been knocking on the door last few years. So like I've said, I know you've raved about the Bills lately, especially week 1 opener. You were excited about that. Saw your little podcast and things the next day. So I appreciate that, talking Bills football here in Sacramento. Just want them to win one before I die. So 35 years, just been living through so many heartbreaks and memories, but just glad to be part of Bills Mafia, and I appreciate you talking about Bills sometime here in Sacramento.
Well, I talk about all teams in the NFL, to be fair, and the Bills are one of the best teams in the NFL, and I think that they have a really good chance. But I also would be honest, after watching them in week 1 against Baltimore and then again last night, I'm very concerned about their defense and particularly their back end. It's going to have to get better if you want to have your dream come to a reality.
I know we got in our cornerback first round pick, Maxwell Harrison. He's been out so far.
Yep.
He's a great corner. I know last night Milano and Ed Oliver were also out. But I think once we get them back, the chemistry will, build. Trey White came back last night. I know he's getting up there in age, but just hoping we get back in the playoffs and make some noise deep into it and hopefully win one. So.
All right. So the Bills travel in terms of, I am very confident when the Bills are on the road. I think they play very well on the road, but you being a much bigger fan, I'm not a Bills fan, but being really involved with the team and knowing everything that's going on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most important, 1 being not important, give me the number of the Bills having home field advantage this year. Where do you put that number at in the playoffs?
I would say 9, especially going through the playoffs. If we get the number 1 seed, which is looking good so far, I think we're capable of going deep, and we have weather in our advantage. So I'll take that any day.
Yeah, I was going to say 9 too. I think it's so important for them to be at home and know that they only have to win 2 games to get to the Super Bowl, and it's in their stadium. And we know about them moving into their big, brand new, fancy stadium. And what a way to go out, right? If they could win an AFC championship this year, be unbelievable.
Yep. Yeah, and me and my brother, he's a Niner fan. We already booked our hotel. I want to experience that fan fest here in Levi's, San Francisco. Hopefully the Bills make it also. We'll see, but exciting times, being, got a great quarterback, franchise quarterback in Josh Allen now after going through Tyrod and you name it, J.P. Lossman, Nate Peterman, and just glad to have a nice, head on our quarterback, smart, super nice guy. Love it.
Well, I got to tell you, I would love, as a sports fan, but not a fan of the Bills, but as a sports fan, I would love to see the Bills win the Super Bowl. Just like I was really happy when the Cubs won a World Series and I mean this, decades and decades and decades and decades of suffering fans of the Cubs to finally win a World Series. I knew a lot of Cubs fans and know a lot of Cubs fans. Some aren't alive anymore. They've passed away from a full lifespan, but they got a chance to see their Cubs win the World Series. And when I talked to them, the joy in their face and it was almost like their life was complete. And you know what I'm talking about. And the suffering up in Buffalo, you know exactly what I mean.
You're saying that I got goosebumps on my driving right now, and I got goosebumps just imagining one day just us winning one. So I appreciate the time, Grant. You take care and welcome back to Sacramento.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Drive safely. I didn't have to wait all my life, but growing up, the Giants were horrible. They were terrible. When I started becoming a Giants fan, they were terrible. They were awful. And then at the end of the 70s, when George Young became the general manager and they drafted well, and then they believed in Bill Parcells after a couple of horrible seasons, they became a dominant franchise. They've got 4 Super Bowls. And of course, not to give him pain, Al, but one of them was against the Buffalo Bills in 91. And I will tell you that being at the Rose Bowl, and he said he's already got his hotel reservations, and I hope it happens for him and the other Bills fans. But I would say that being at that game on January 25th, 1987, at that point in my life was the most euphoric I had ever been. In anything that ever happened in my life, up to that point was number one on my list. I can't really explain the feeling because you know the feeling if your team won a championship after years and years and years of futility and awful football. And I mean that. I mean the Giants were horrible. And I went to every game, every single game at Yankee Stadium, every single game at the Yale Bowl when they were building Giant Stadium, the year at Shea Stadium, watching the Giants play before they moved in to Giant Stadium. They were horrible. When you used to go to the Yale Bowl to watch the Giants play in the 70s, I mean, if they scored a touchdown, like you would look for a bottle of champagne. Seriously, their offense was so freaking bad. They always had a good defense. Like that was the staple of the Giants. They always had a good defense, even when their offense stunk. But they couldn't score. I mean, it was horrible. So when they finally got good and won, and I flew back for the Niners game and then the Washington championship game, and then to go to the Super Bowl and experience that, again, at that point in my life, it was, it was unbelievable. I'll never forget that day at the Rose Bowl, January 25th, 1987. All right, if you want to talk, 916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. Give me a call. We'll put you right on. Don't forget, coming up at 5 o'clock, I've got Grant's Rant, and following that, Damon Bruce, as tonight at Chavez Ravine is going to be an amazing scene with Clayton Kershaw taking the hill for the final time during the regular season at Dodger Stadium. It's going to be it's going to be quite a scene. And for the Giants, pretty much on life support, they were in a very difficult situation. And I'm thinking they're going to have to win all of their games on the homestand against St. Louis and Colorado. But if they don't win at least two of these next three games against the Dodgers, I don't think it's really going to matter. I don't think it's going to matter. Let's get to some more phone calls, and we get to Arizona. And Tim. Hello, Tim. Welcome to the show. There we go. Let's get to Tim.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, hey, I just wanted to, obviously, the news about a big Dodger fan, the news about Kershaw yesterday. Just kind of want to get your thoughts on where he is as an all-time great. Me personally, like I put Bumgarner ahead of him just because of his playoffs, being a Dodgers fan, but I just kind of want to know what your thoughts on Kershaw.
Well, I'll answer that question very quickly. If I had to win a playoff game, I would take Mad Bum over Clayton Kershaw every day of the week and Sunday and every day of the week, and I can go on and on and on. Like Kershaw's postseason record, you can't compare it to Madison Bumgarner. I mean, it's like comparing, night and day. You can't compare it.
Agree.
Right. But I mean, I also have to acknowledge Kershaw's achievements, Cy Young awards, all-star appearances, everything else. I mean, the guy's going in the Hall of Fame. But in postseason, no, I would not want Kershaw to have a ball in a big game in October. No way.
I agree. Also, but I mean, as far as just like an overall person, you can't really beat what he was as a person and what he did for the franchise.
No question. I mean, again, if we're talking about Clayton Kershaw, he's going to go down as one of the all-time great Dodgers. I think that he deserves it. He's been a model citizen. He's been great for the community. He is the LA Dodgers. So, I mean, he deserves all of the accolades that he gets. But if we're talking about postseason, I'm sorry, there are many, many other pitchers that have had, much brighter moments in October than Clayton Kershaw.
I agree with you, Grant, and that's from a big Dodger fan. So, thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate that. Bye-bye. Let's get to Scott in Rancho Cordova. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Grant. I'll try to be quick, but in the last several years, some friends and I have repeatedly said to ourselves, we miss Grant. It's probably been said many times, but when I heard you were going to be on, I was like, what a breath of fresh air. It's just hard to find any station, and I mean any. I have to go to WEEI to get, I know that would rub you the wrong way, but get a host that speaks English clearly and has questions that are interesting. And already some of my favorite people have been on with Scott Pollard and Jerry Reynolds. and both seem like real people. And I've met Jerry, and he's just as fun off the air as he is on. Just great people, and I've enjoyed hearing your voice. And I've always wanted to ask if I could get this in. When you get a caller in that can't spit it out, and there's a lot of dead air, how do you corral it so that it doesn't lose the interest of the audience listening?
You know, it's a great question. A lot of times I hang up on them. I mean, I hate to say that, but I really do. If I feel that it's disrupting the flow of the show, and they're stumbling and there's a lot of dead air, and if I give them one chance and they're still not there, I hang up on them because I have to move the show along. But that is a very interesting question, and I want to let you know that I appreciate your support, and I want to say thank you for listening to the show.
And I'm looking forward to it being able to be played on the smart speaker, because when I can, I listen to it in the background, and it's been driving me crazy. I have it dialed in on the car when I'm able to do that, but I'm going through withdrawals, so I have it on another computer playing. But I'm looking forward to things getting tuned in. And just
thank you.
Welcoming you back.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Have a great weekend.
Okay.
We'll go to break, and just remember this as we go to break. Okay. Whoops. Sorry about that. As we go to break, Clayton Kershaw's ERA in the postseason, 4.49. 4.49. More to come. Your phone calls, 916-779-0929. Grant's ran at 5. Damon Bruce after that, right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
For nearly all of us, our home is our biggest investment. And just as important as what it looks like on the outside is what is happening on the inside. How long has it been since you had your home's electrical integrity checked? Whether your home is 10 or more years old or even a newer build, the safe rule of thumb is to get the electrical inspected at least every 5 years. At Gabroods, electrical work is all we do. We're the area's recognized experts. Panel replacements, whole house fans, generators, solar, and more. But home inspections are what we do most often. Whether you have a difficult electrical situation or it's just time to ensure your home and family are safe, call locally owned Gabroods for our thorough 12-point expert inspection. Gabroods, serving our Northern California neighbors for more than 30 years. Gabroods, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabroods, G-U-B-R-U-D-S, Gabroods.com.
For your criminal defense needs, NotGuilty.com, your trusted defense team. Have you been accused or charged with a crime? Having a criminal record can jeopardize your job, your reputation, and your immigration status. Our experienced attorneys, including former DAs and prosecutors, bring unmatched trial expertise to protect your rights and fight to clear your record. The time is now. Don't wait. 855-636-0550. 855-636-0550. Or visit NotGuilty.com. Driving without a license, drug cases, violence cases, sex cases, arrest warrants. NotGuilty.com also assists with accident and labor cases. No upfront cost to start your injury case. And if we don't win, you don't pay. Call 855-636-0550. 855-636-0550. For your criminal defense needs. NotGuilty.com, your trusted defense team. Results may vary. An initial consultation is required to determine if your case qualifies. This is for informational purposes only and does not constitute official legal advice. This advertisement is paid for by the United firm La Liga Defensora.
It's Laramie the Golden Retriever with Vince Bloom the Big Guy.
The weather's getting cooler, but at Folsom Lake Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, the deals are hotter than ever.
How do you mean, Vince?
It's the Drive Into Fall event, and prices are falling like leaves on every Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram in stock. Listen.
During the Drive Into Fall event at Folsom Lake Dodge, save over $6,500 net savings off MSRP on a new 2025 Jeep Wrangler 2-door Sport. That's over 17% off.
And I've got 5 at this hot deal.
Or rustle up over $10,000 off a new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. Over 19% off.
The Drive Into Fall at Folsom Lake Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Even Laramie knows now is the time for a deal. Right, Laramie?
At Folsom Lake Dodge.
In the Folsom Auto Mall and online at FolsomLakeDodge.com.
Wrangler includes $44.85 dealer discount plus $2,000 in national retail bonus cash. Then SE 6583.48. Grand Cherokee includes $45.25 dealer discount plus $5,500 in national retail loyalty and select inventory bonus cash. VINs S866-7701, 629-387, 6694-58. See dealer for details. Expires 9/30/25.
Hi, it's Margot from Bennett's Restaurants. At Bennett's, it's all about bold flavors and fresh handcrafted food served with genuine hospitality. Craving prime hand-cut steaks? We've got them. Fresh salmon, halibut, or giant Mexican prawns? We've got those too. At Bennett's, we serve premium seafood and steaks in a relaxed setting. Whether you're joining us for a special night out or a casual bite, we'll treat you like family every time. Find us in Sacramento, Roseville, and Rockland. View our menus and make a reservation at bennettsrestaurants.com.
Of 4.49. Madison Bumgarner in the postseason, 8-3 with an ERA of 2.11 and one save, 16 postseason appearances. So obviously Clay Shaw has been in more postseasons. His career was much longer. Obviously, he's still pitching, but many disappointing postseason outings for Kershaw. And for a pitcher that has the resume that he has and the record that he has, that is a bad record in the postseason. It's bad. There's no other way you can say it. 13-13 with an ERA of basically 4.5 to Bumgarner, 8-3, ERA of 2.11. Like, that's night and day. That's why I'm saying, like, if I need a guy in October and I got to win a game, I'm not giving the ball to Clayton Kershaw. And I'm not even just comparing him to Madison Bumgarner. I'm comparing him to a lot of pitchers, okay? And even during his generation, just not doing it. I'm not. I mean, you tell me, you want Kershaw with the ball in October in a big game? I don't. I've always said that. And I irked Matt when I was used to fill in for Rome all the time. I'm like, no way. I mean, you know how many, look at Oral Hershiser, for crying out loud, right? I mean, if you want to just keep it to the Dodgers, you want to go back to Sandy Koufax? How about a ERA of what? Under 1? Again, we're talking about obviously a long time ago, but if we just keep it within the Dodgers organization, he wouldn't even be close to the top there. And we talk about postseason pitching in baseball. You know, I used to love watching Andy Pettitte pitch in October. Guy was money. Guy that killed the Yankees was Curt Schilling. I mean, how big of a pitcher was he with Boston and the Diamondbacks? He had a postseason record of 11-2 with an ERA of 2.23. And then, you know, you take a look at Kershaw. His numbers are terrible. I mean, we can go. There are a lot of pitchers that you can name that in a big game in October, you're not giving the ball to Kershaw. You're just not. And I recognize that he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, and I get all of that. But if you're looking at pitchers of his generation or right before him, Bumgarner, you know, during the Pettitte, Curt Schilling era, much better in the postseason. Randy Johnson, you know, I'd have to look up his numbers, but I mean, he was unbelievable. I'm sorry. I hate to rain on the guy's parade because I hope he does well tonight, because it's going to be a great scene at Dodger Stadium, and I'm going to be tuning in to watch the game because I like to see great sports moments. And I think him going out in the bottom of the first and taking the walk out to the hill at Dodger Stadium is going to be unbelievable. It's going to be one of the great moments that stadium has had, and they've had a lot of great moments. That's going to be incredible. It's going to be absolutely incredible. I'm going to be watching it on my phone because I'm going to be doing my podcast on If You Don't Like That when the game starts. But I'm going to try to be watching it on my phone and if I miss it live, I will go back and watch it because that's going to be a great moment. It's going to be a great moment. Great moment. Rhino, you going to watch the game tonight?
Yeah, I'll be tuning in. I love seeing, despite what team it is, moments like that. But in context of the conversation, tonight will be awesome. But let's say the Dodgers get to the postseason and he blows an important game. How's he going to be remembered?
Well, I remember Clayton Kershaw in two ways. I remember him as a great regular season pitcher and a very poor postseason pitcher. That's how and I've always talked about this. That's how I really got into it with Matt. And when I was doing the Rome show, he couldn't believe that I was talking that Kershaw was such a bad pitcher in the postseason. But I'm sorry, the numbers don't lie. And there were many, 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 many other pitchers that I would give the ball to in a big game instead of Clayton Kershaw. That's just the reality of it.
Do you think this takes less pressure off Clayton, having this announced, doing this start ahead of time, then rolling that into the postseason and keeping that in?
Yes.
It's going to be your last game?
Absolutely. Much better to get it out of the way in the regular season and not have to deal with that in the postseason. 100%. Absolutely. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. Totally. Do you like when athletes do the whole retirement tour a season before, where they get recognized almost every stop that they make on the road?
I think there are a select few athletes that I do like to have them go on a farewell tour because I think they've been so important not only to their team, but to their particular sport. And I think that those individuals truly have earned, and I think fans around the country want to appreciate the greatness that they've had over, in many cases, 15 and 20 years. I'm okay with it.
But when you go on that tour, that's got to be it. You can't come back.
Yeah, you can't come back. Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, exactly. 100%. When you do the tour, you're done. Don't come back. Yeah, I'm 100% behind you. Hey, don't forget, coming up, Grant's Rant in a couple of moments. Then Damon Bruce, who's doing just a great job on his podcast in the Bay Area. Very dialed in with what's going on with all of these sports in Northern California. We'll talk to him about the Giants. We'll talk to him about how he sees the 49ers through 2 weeks. An important game that the Giants are keeping an eye on. Not that they really need to watch the scoreboard, because if they don't win, it really doesn't matter. But the Cubs are leading the Reds 4-3, bottom of the fourth. That game in Cincinnati. They'll be keeping an eye. Well, they need to keep an eye on themselves, but the fans will be looking at the other scores that come in involving the Arizona Diamondbacks. They are ahead of the Giants. So, it's not just the Giants winning. You got the Mets. You need them to lose. You need the Diamondbacks to lose. You need the Reds to lose. The Diamondbacks hosting the Philadelphia Phillies. That's not going to be easy. But again, you got the Mets, who are trailing the Nats in the top of the third in Flushing, 4-1. The Nats are terrible. Right now, that is 4-1. The Mets are so hard to figure out. They have just had... and really, I tell you, you talk about disappointing season, not only for the Mets, but I'm looking at the Giants. I can't really get that excited about a team, and I'm talking about San Francisco, that's below 500. Giants fans are going gaga. They're 76 and 77. That stinks, right? 500 baseballs, you don't get excited over 500 baseball. So, I think, are we making too much, out of the Giants? They're not even a 500 team. They're not even a 500 team. At least the Mets are 79 and 74. They're not playing well. They've lost 7 of 10, and they're down tonight. But, at least they're above 500. You got a team like the Giants that's below 500. You're getting excited about that? I'm not going to get excited about that. Just not going to do it, And I know that if the Giants were to make the playoffs, I get all of the fandemonium, and I understand. I get that. But if you're looking at the big picture, they're not very good. Let's just call it the way it is. They're not very good. And when they made the deal with that team north of New York, right? to get Devers, and he was the team was terrible for weeks and weeks. Couldn't run the base paths, couldn't field the ball, couldn't pitch, couldn't hit. They went through a stretch of baseball that was unwatchable. I mean, it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing baseball. And then they got hot for a couple of weeks, and now they're not, right? Bad weekend last weekend at home, losing 2 of 3 to the Diamondbacks. Now you lose the opener of a 4-game set. It's not good. It's not good. Grant's rant next. Then Damon Bruce. We'll talk more about the Giants and the 49ers. All of that remaining in the final hour of the show. The Grant Napear Show on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Fox Sports traffic. You're going to find officials on the scene of an earlier crash, I-5 northbound at the I-80 interchange. You got stop-and-go traffic on the northbound side of I-5 from Sutterville Road up to that scene, adding about a 30-minute drive time through there. Northbound, southbound Cap City Freeway in between Marconi Avenue and Exposition Boulevard, even a little bit further south. You're dealing with some heavy rush hour delays through that area as well. Give yourself about 30 extra minutes. With twice an hour traffic, I'm Andy Bass for Fox Sports Sacramento.
Football is back, and so is your big shot at big wins with DraftKings Pick 6, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Your game day instincts can score you real money fast. Here's the play. Just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats from breakout rookies to elite quarterbacks and unlock the upside every snap brings. The better your calls, the bigger your payout. And here's the kickoff bonus. New DraftKings customers get $50 in bonus picks with just a $5 entry. This season, play your player instincts. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code KSAC. That's code KSAC. Play just $5, get $50 in Pick 6 bonus picks. Make the call. Ride the upside. In partnership with DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
For more than 4 decades, Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort has been trusted by home and business owners for their professional expertise in heating, air conditioning, and solar energy. Your home is your castle, and at Sierra Pacific, we thank you for 40 great years of trusting us to protect your castle. Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort, solar, heating, and air. SierraPacificHome.com.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Week 3 of the NFL season rarely feels like a turning point. Teams still trying to find their rhythm, still ironing out mistakes, and still searching for an identity. But for the Dolphins and head coach Mike McDaniel, this week may carry a little more weight than most. The Dolphins weren't supposed to be in the thick of the AFC race. At least that was the outside perception. But if you look closer at this roster, they got playmakers on both sides of the ball, a coach with one of the more innovative offensive minds in the NFL. Yet here they are 0-2 staring at a heavyweight in Buffalo. Hard to imagine a team battling dysfunction suddenly out-punching one of the league's best on their home turf. But how Miami looks tonight may say everything. A close game could signal progress, proof the Dolphins are climbing out of that early season hole. But getting blown out, that might be the first crack in Mike McDaniel's foundation and the beginning of a far louder question. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Pickleball is the fastest growing court sport in the world, and no one makes playing pickleball safer, more comfortable, and quicker on your feet than Tyrrell. Tyrrell is the first purpose-built shoe made specifically for playing pickleball. Tyrrell shoes are made with the famous Vibram outsole. Remember, Tyrol. If you want to elevate your game, you want to play longer, more comfortably, go to TyrrellPickleball.com and experience how Tyrrell can help your game while making you look like a real pro.
As a scientist, I can tell you that Sundays are only 24 hours long. But with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you get every game every Sunday all in one place. That's upwards of 30 hours of NFL in one day. How can there be 30 hours in 24 hours, you ask? I have a theory. Magic. New users get NFL Sunday Ticket for 8 payments of $34.50 per month. Sign up at NFLSundayTicket.com. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games and commercial use. Terms and embargoes apply. Availability varies.
Tell your friends. Grant's back. Grant Napear is back on the Sacramento airwaves right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst. K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Grant's back and here to win. It's the Grant Napear Show on Fox Sports Radio Sacramento. Now, Grant Napear.
Final hour of the show. Grant's Rant, what do you got for me, Rhino?
All right, Napes. First, since we have talked about traveling this week, there was a lady over in Europe that made a 2,400 mile 2,400 mile round trip in 24 hours to get candy that was exclusive to that destination.
Wow.
Is that a little bit over the top or not?
Yeah, that's a little over the top. All right, that's a decent one.
I'll let you know. Second, Grant, is just driving etiquette. You can take that whichever way you want to go. Traffic, if we all are looking in front of us and driving at a reasonable speed, outside of there being a blockage on the road, why do we have traffic? Also, I was driving in today and I made a point to stop early so somebody could get in from the parking lot. You got to give the wave in those circumstances. If you don't give the other person the wave, it's not okay. And third and last, I think this is where you're going to go. I'm kind of getting tired of watching the NFL starting lineup introductions and hearing about what kindergarten players went to, random 10-second things that make no sense. How hard is it just to say your name and your college?
Amen. I've got my rant. I'm ready to roll, Rhino. All right. I thought we were going to get a little intro. No problem. Maybe I said don't do the intro anymore. There we go. All right. We'll get rid of that intro. Hey, I've never understood a lot of TV production when it comes to sports. Stupid graphics that appear on the screen. You know, after the first down, you got to see the offense and you got to see their faces on camera talking about where they went to college, and some of them talk about their high school. The fans at home don't care. They don't care about that. All right. They already know who's starting. Okay. The vast majority of people that are watching the games, they're playing fantasy football. They know who all these guys are. All right. You don't have to waste me, 15 seconds after the first snap and another 15 to 20 seconds after the second snap so I can see the defense. Get rid of that nonsense. So I'm with you on that. I hate that. Just show me the freaking game, would you? All this other nonsense that surrounds television sports, just show me the game. Here's something else that drives me crazy if we're really going to get into this. Why do I need 5 or 6 people, okay, on the field before the game or at halftime? This happens all the time in college football. I need 5 analysts telling me what happened in the first half of a college football game. Seriously? What do they all make one comment and then the second half starts? Like the networks fire people all the time. Well, the reason why they're firing people all the time, the people in the back rooms, assistant producers, is because they're paying all this talent ridiculous sums of money. You need 5 people on a TV set. You need 5 people analyzing a first half or the end of a game. It's freaking ridiculous. And that's my rant for today. Hey, a guy that I have so much respect for, I've listened to him for many, many, many years in the Bay Area, and now he is killing it with his podcast. It is an absolute pleasure to have Damon Bruce join me here on the Grant Napear Show. How are you, buddy?
The fact that you are back on the air, just your voice coming out over the airwaves in Sacramento, if that isn't nature healing itself, I don't know what is. Grant, I am doing well. It is so good to be on with you. I'm glad you're back on the air, and I know the entire city is as well, brother. How are you?
I am doing super, and I'm really happy for you because you found life after live radio with your podcast, and it is going so well. I saw all the subscribers you have, all of the content, and I'm really happy for you, man. You and Larry, you guys are doing great.
Well, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. There is life after radio for sure. And it's been a lot of fun. I mean, it really has been an awfully rewarding endeavor, and the audience reach has been fantastic. It really has been. So it's been a lot of fun, and I've remained in the game, and thank goodness that this option even exists in this world at this moment in time. Because I'll tell you, I looked around at the workforce and I deem myself borderline unemployable, Grant. I don't know what I would do in my life if I weren't doing this. Now, by the way, I'm going to warn you, I am watching my in-laws pull up with my children. I will be letting them into my house. There will be a moment of chaos, but wait till you see what a pro I am. We are going to get through this together.
I love it. And thank you for the warning. I got a great story for you. I don't know. I just had Bob Valvano on, who, of course, was the brother of Jim Valvano. And we were talking about Spud Webb and Tommy Abeta-Marco, who was an assistant coach for Jim Valvano, then recruited Spud. And when Jim Valvano saw Spud walk off the plane for his official visit to NC State, Jim Valvano said to Tommy, when he saw Spud Webb for the first time, he said, "If that's Spud Webb, you're fired." Is that a classic or what?
That's great. Well, when the first time you saw him, if you said to yourself, so my basketball fortunes lie in someone that size, yeah, you would definitely get that reaction, I think, from just about anybody. But I'll tell you, man, I'm so happy to be on the same show as Bobby V. When I started my broadcasting career a million years ago in Bristol, Connecticut, when I was doing overnight sports centers on ESPN radio nationally, I would work Bobby V's show all the time. And he is just one of the genuinely nicest and best guys I've ever spent time around in a radio studio. I love him.
Yep.
Just the Valvano family, what they've meant to the world of sports is so special.
Well said. Hey, I want to talk about the Giants for a moment. And I get the fact that they're on life support right now, but I'm looking at their totality of their season. I mean, here they are, Damon. They're a game under 500. I can't see them getting in, but let's say based to this point right now, as we get ready for what's going to be a heck of a scene at Dodger Stadium in a couple of hours, if you had to give the Giants a letter grade to this point on the season, what's their grade?
I mean, C+, B- is somewhere in there. The fact that I don't think they're going to the postseason. I'd like to think that they're shooting higher than that to get a better grade than I'm giving. But look, they've got pieces for the future that I don't think they would have been able to acquire but for the big Rafael Devers trade. I think he is going to eventually be the back of his baseball card. And all things considered, I guess it was kind of a good year, and I guess that they're still sort of in it. It's a shame that Rodriguez, has to have Tommy John and is going to miss, this year and next too. He was a real kind of fun part of the season and story, but it's Buster's first year. There can be no official letter grades given to any new direction of a franchise in one season. I do think they're pointed in the right direction. I'd love to see more money allocated to just solving the lineup year in, year out. I think pitching is going to come. I think pitching is built into that ballpark. I want to see all of their money, all of their draft picks. Boy, I hope Bryce Eldridge really becomes something for them. Because they just need, Grant, it is the same thing every year with this team. They've got pretty good pitching. Even when the pitching has gone wrong, it's still pretty good pitching. If they can score 5 runs a night, they can play with anybody. But sometimes managing more than, 2-3 runs on 1 or 2 hits over the course of weeks in a row, it's mind-numbing. And I think Pat Burrell didn't have a lot of the answers that they needed. Maybe it was the talent. Maybe it was Melvin, who has probably saved his job. But it's a frustrating year. But the acquisition of Devers alone, I think, means this is a year with a passing letter grade more than a failing letter grade. That's for sure.
Damon Bruce, my guest right here on Fox Sports Sacramento. What's your take on the 49ers through 2 games?
What more could you want? Considering you've had a backup quarterback already start on the road, both games on the road. You're already top 10, both offensively and defensively, with the crumbs that have sort of been run out there. I think it's a great start to the year. It really is. I think Mac Jones needs to be classified as the gift horse you don't look too long in the mouth for. You're going to be a dentist. You're eventually going to find something wrong there. But he was good in New Orleans. Let's hope he can keep that up. I think Christian McCaffrey is one better run blocking offensive line away from having a really, really good year. I think he's going to have a good year no matter what if he can stay healthy. Robert Saleh, Grant, being back in the room, I think is a huge temperature change for the 49ers. It really is. I think you're going to see a defense right now that is pretty good, continue to improve as the year goes along. And look, how about this for something that you never get to say? What if we're in a football season as it goes along, the Niners actually get a little healthier? I mean, I can't even say that out loud. It's such a foreign thought. This is an alien concept. But eventually George Kittle's back in the room. Eventually Brandon Ayuk is back in the room. Eventually Malik Mustafa is back in the room. And Brock Purdy, I think, is going to be back in the room soon too. So a healthy 49ers team against this schedule, 2-0 start, I like it a lot.
You talked about the offensive line a moment ago. Is it a stretch to say that Trent Williams is the most valuable player on that team? I mean, to me, he has to stay on the field for this team to have success.
I think it's Trent Williams, and I think it's Fred Warner. If you really want to spread around the who just simply cannot go, I think Fred Warner is the most important defensive chess piece. Christian McCaffrey, we saw what an offense looked like without him. I don't think they want to look at that again. But yes, Trent Williams is a Hall of Fame left tackle. He is one of the best we've, I think, ever seen play. He's an outstanding leader, and you can just tell he rubs off on the rest of that offensive line. They play better around him. I really like Dominic Pooney. I really like what we've seen at the beginning of his career too. But yeah, if you want to see the 49ers, Trent Williams has to be out on the field because they lose a lot of their identity without him.
Damon, I really respect your knowledge when we talk Golden State Warriors basketball. Training camp is going to open up very soon. You also have a great pulse of the Bay Area sports fan. Do Warrior fans want Jonathan Kuminga to stay on the team, or they want him gone?
I don't even think it. This is the fact that this entire relationship with Kuminga the rookie, Kuminga the first, second, third year player, Kuminga the entity, the fact that they cannot figure out this relationship is the defining figure of this relationship. And it's affected how the fan base feels about him as well. I think everyone knows coming off a player this early in his career with this much raw talent is an insane thing for an aging team that is right now built around Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. I mean, that's some grandpa all-star team right there. Mm-hmm. And so giving up a young talent for whatever isn't the perfect fit sounds a little ridiculous. I also think someone needs to go up to Jonathan Kuminga and say, dude, you're not an $80 million a year player in this league yet. It's just not who you are. You've got that potential, but it's not there. Have the Warriors stunted his potential? Maybe, yes, probably. I don't know. They know an awful lot more about their own system than we, the experts who watch or we think ever will. We're not privy to the practices where I'm sure he is, dogged it or not rebounded or whatever. That has sort of got him always on the wrong side of the Steve Kerr relationship. It's just weird, man. I don't know what to tell you. The weirdest thing about this, Grant, is the Warriors, it felt like years ago, turned the corner and just being a competent NBA franchise. And then that competent NBA franchise grew all the way into the behemoth, the dynasty, the future Hall of Famers, the titles, and everything. For it to come back to this, for this pendulum swing to come back, for the first time Joe Lacob to look like he's interfering with the ability to just build a team around Steph Curry, who is the most important planet in the universe still, it is very frustrating. It's impossible to understand. I don't know what's the there on this going this far. Why drag it to this 11th hour if it could if it's going to ruin how Steph Curry's career ends? What is going on? I mean, they're waiting for perfect, and I don't even know if really good is coming by anymore.
That's a great point. Some really interesting observations. So look into your crystal ball for me. Gut feeling, does he play out the year with the Golden State Warriors?
I think so. I think eventually here someone's going to have to blink, and it makes sense for him to play great in a good situation. I mean, there really is. If this is about the most amount of money for Jonathan Kuminga at the end of the day, him playing well on a team that is as high profile as the Warriors gets him paid this offseason when he puts a new uniform on. I just hope that this isn't some sort of a daubered down, bad feelings type of situation that prevents any and all that from happening. And again, like with all things about the Warriors, Grant, it just goes back to one question. What's best for Steph? That's it. That's it. There should be no decision made franchise-wide where the question, what's best for Steph, isn't the first thing addressed. And I think that this and how far it's gone and how much it's prevented assembling a team. I think they got 9 guys signed. It's already football season. You know, basketball season's about to start. They don't have a complete roster. This is completely gummed up the natural, normal flow of business because it is such a big sticking point. It's absurd it's gotten this far. Shame on Joe Lacob for allowing whatever emotions he has about this in any way get in the way of it. There's business to be done. I don't care how anyone feels anymore.
Great points. I always love talking to you. Enjoy your family. You got the in-laws in. The kids are, by the way, great job. You've been very quiet. I haven't heard the kids once.
Thank you very well. Now let's talk about the great job Grandma and Grandpa are doing tonight. Clearly the right tone was struck at kindergarten and first grade pickup. So, you got to strike that right tone coming out of the locker room, Grant. And then, we settled into the first quarter here of the evening. It's been a nice settle-in moment for the Bruces. Great coaching job by Grandma and Grandpa tonight.
I love it. I respect the heck out of you. Thanks so much for coming on. I hope we can do it again a couple of times during the year. I just love to get your insight. Thanks, buddy.
It would be my honor. It would be my pleasure. Grant, you are an icon. I'm so happy you're back on the radio. Thank you so much. Great to talk to you and to Rhino and everybody. Good night.
Thank you so much, Damon. Really appreciate you. Good stuff from Damon Bruce. And check out his podcast. I'm serious. He does a great job. Larry Kruger, who I've had on my podcast a number of times. Those guys do a great job, and they got you covered with Bay Area sports. I try to get you covered with Bay Area sports, too. And I thought Rhino, I thought his comments about Jonathan Kuminga and really his harsh words about Joe Lacob were very interesting.
Yeah. Damon has kept it pretty clear about Lacob and really been straight up on his feelings. If you go check out what he's doing on YouTube, which is incredible, by the way, which you mentioned, he's built an awesome community there. Kuminga, though, I disagree with him on the back end. I do think he will not finish the season as a Warrior. You?
If I'm flipping a coin, I'm going to go heads. Heads meaning he won't be there when we get to April, because I got to go with Bob Valvano's heads. Right. So I'm flipping a coin. Heads is he won't be there. Tails, he will. It came up heads. So I'm going to say he won't finish the year with Golden State.
We've got a call on line 1 about not taking tails. So I got to run, Napes.
Oh, my gosh. Love it. Don't forget, everyone, we've got our picks coming up in the final segment of the show. So why don't we open up the phone lines for the second segment of hour number 3 at 916-779-0929, the Grant Napear Show on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Sports traffic. Got an accident on Highway 99 southbound at 12th Avenue. You got delays backed up to about Broadway because 2 left lanes are blocked off in that accident scene. Give yourself that extra time to work your way through that. Normal rush hour delays, US 50 in between Howe Avenue and the top of the town freeway. You're dealing with about a 30 to 35 minute drive time through that stretch of roadway, and I-5 northbound and southbound, heavy rush hour delays as well. With twice an hour traffic, I'm Andy Bass for Fox Sports Sacramento.
Hi, it's Margot from Bennett's Restaurants. Who says Mondays have to be boring? At Bennett's, Mondays are made for wine and dine. For just $65, enjoy 2 full entrees, 2 salads, and a bottle of wine. Perfect for date night or dinner with a friend. That's a complete dinner for 2 with wine. Treat yourself to our crave-worthy favorites, like our prawn linguine or short rib with mashed potatoes. Join us this Monday in Roseville, Rockland, or Sacramento. Reserve now at bennettsrestaurants.com. Make Monday the new fun day at Bennett's.
Looking for the ultimate night out? Welcome to HQ Showgirls, Sacramento's premier adult gentlemen's club. We're the only topless club between Reno and San Francisco serving alcohol, beer, wine, and champagne. All inside over 6,000 square feet of pure excitement. Planning a party or a VIP night? Call our VIP manager now at 916-389-0199 to book your table. Come experience the energy at HQ Showgirls, 851 Richards Boulevard, Sacramento. Open 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Sunday through Thursday and until 4 a.m. Friday and Saturday. Visit hqnightclub.com, where the night begins and never stops.
How bad is Cameron Cade wanted?
Sports fans, finally a horror film with a football twist. Check out Him, the IMAX experience, playing this week at the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento.
In this game, violence is rewarded, so learn to enjoy it.
Greatness to man sacrifice. The next great quarterback descends into a world of terror and trains into something darker. The best theater to experience Him is on the Esquire IMAX Theater 6-story screen. Grab your reserved seats today at IMAX.com/Sacramento.
Downtown Ford of Sacramento has been in
Bud Webb, I think, next week. We can nail him down. Maybe Kevin Harlan. I've been texting him. Just depends on his schedule. This guy's the nicest guy in the world. The messages he sends me, such a great guy. Doug McDermott of the Kings is scheduled to come on. We've got a lot of good stuff, Rhino. I can't wait. We already have a good week lined up coming up. It's going to be a busy week. Ryder Cup, college, NFL. And then the Kings are going to open up training camp the following week. Man, it's going to be action-packed.
We're there, Grant. We are through the slow season in the Ryder Cup. I know that's something we've talked about on the show. How excited are you to watch that, and especially being in New York?
I can't wait. I grew up 5 miles, 6, 7 miles from there. I can't wait. I like watching the Ryder Cup anyway. I wish it didn't go head-to-head with football season, both on college and the NFL. But I think if it's close on Sunday, that atmosphere is going to be unbelievable at the Bethpage Black Course on Long Island. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be unbelievable.
I wish golf would do a little bit more to promote it. You don't. You've talked a lot about it, but unless you're watching the Golf Channel or it's an off day on ESPN this week, you don't see a lot.
It's a great point, and I think now we live in a society in the fall where everything's football, 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 right? I mean, everything is centered around college and the NFL. It's just it's dominating the sports market, and their ratings state that. I mean, you can't argue with it.
No, and ratings also go along with gambling too. You're going to have a certain percentage of the market that doesn't care about either team playing. They care about the spread and whatever prop or line they put on it.
Speaking of the spread, we're going to be doing our picks coming up here in about 20 minutes. So you're all dialed in. You already have your picks?
I have 3 that are rock solid. I have 3 that are in the middle.
Whoa. You have 3 rock solid. Does that mean you are saying that those are 3 locks? Is that what you're telling me?
3 locks.
Oh, wow.
For free.
Okay.
Not even 1-900. Free.
Wow.
3 locks. But I'm hoping that you don't go there. I think
we can pick the same games,
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm okay if you pick a game that I like, and I'm fine with that. I mean, I wouldn't want to go 4 versus 4. You like 4 games, and I like the same 4, but it's okay if we have the same game. I'm okay with that.
Okay, fair enough. So I've got 3 locks and 3 that I really like, 1 that I'm a little on the fence. How about you?
I haven't even done it yet. I'm going to do it during the next commercial break.
All right. See, that's how a comeback starts. You don't overanalyze.
No, I'm not going to overanalyze. The reason why I like to wait until Friday to really do this is I like to see what's going on with injuries, and I like to look at the Friday injury report and do it that way.
Do you like do you like the, and I know this is next segment, but do you think 8.5 is too much for Green Bay? Is there a little bit too much hype there in Cleveland?
You know what's interesting? And I don't really I do this for fun, and I've been very open about that. Like when you looked at the line last night and everyone looking at how Buffalo looked against the Jets and how bad Miami's looked, I would say, and I don't know this, I'm just guessing that the majority of people took Buffalo, but it looked too easy. It just seems to me sometimes when the games look too easy, go the other way.
Totally. You have to go with your gut first. I look at the games, and this is me personally. I don't look at the spreads first. I'm just looking at what the teams have done, just whatever comes to my mind. But Miami, to me, and I took Buffalo last night just because of how uninspired they were in week 1 and week 2. Yeah, they fought back, but they got some good special teams. It was one of those games where I could see it being a blowout, and I could see it being the end of the Mike McDaniel era in Miami. Luckily for him, was not.
All right, so I will, during my next commercial break, I will go to DraftKings, and I will look at the NFL odds, because that's what we use.
Yes.
And I will come up with, hopefully, a much better week than the first 2 weeks. All right?
All right. And, all of you listening out there, you have an opportunity to win a $100 gift card to Bennett's, compliments of Brian Bennett and the team at bennettsrestaurants.com. Make sure that you send us your 4 games. You can tweet them at Grant Napear Show, at Ryan_in_Sacktown, and at Fox Sports Sacramento. 4 games. Look at the lines. Best record out of all of you. If there's a tie, Grant, for the record, you've got the big hat right here across the glass. We will pull a name out, but wait next segment. We do have a singular winner from last week that we will announce.
And what was their record? They go 4-0?
You had to ask that, didn't you?
Well, I'm sorry. We'll keep it a secret until we get to the segment coming up in a couple of moments. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know the record. That's why I'm reminding everybody to get in this. Our winner this week, 2-2.
Really?
Yes.
Come on.
No, 2-2. Runners up, 1-3. 1-3. That's why I'm saying, if you can get to X, if you have an account, send us your 4 games, look at the DraftKings spreads, and you will be eligible as long as you tag Grant and I in Fox Sports Sacramento for a $100 gift card from Bennett's. And no, Dennis, you are not eligible. You won week 1.
No, that's correct. That's okay. 2-2. Wow, makes me feel better with my picks. Just so you know.
Yeah. Again, that's why I don't like talking about my record. This is something that is como se dice, uncharted waters. Like I shouldn't be picking this good. It's gonna come around to bite me. Maybe it's this week. We'll see.
Interesting that the Baltimore Ravens, they're minus 4.5 this week as I'm looking against Detroit. So I don't know what Detroit team's going to show up. I think I know what Baltimore team's going to show up, but I don't know what Lions team's going to show up.
Right. That's a tricky one. It's a very, very tricky one. Looking also, Carolina, do you have any faith in Bryce Young, who to this day, until right now, has thrown 30 touchdown passes, but has 32 turnovers, 22 interceptions, 10 fumbles that were lost? Can he get it going? It's just because we're at that point of the season, Grant. It's still so early. You don't want to give up on a team, but sometimes the writing's on the wall.
All right, so we're going to be doing that in a couple of moments. You said the line with the Packers and the Browns is what?
8.5 in favor of the Packers.
Huh? Wow. All right. Yeah, the Packers, they've also had an extra 3 days. I don't know if you need an extra 3 days at this point in the season, right?
True.
I want to know about Washington, with Mariota playing quarterback. Seems like he plays well when he's on the field. He seems like a very good backup quarterback. I think Washington will still play well.
Okay, fair enough. I was not high on Mariota after the quarterback series that portrayed him more or less giving up on Atlanta. But the good thing to Mariota in Washington, to your point, is you don't have to change the offense tremendously. He is mobile.
We'll do that in a couple of moments. And again, just forecasting next week. I can't wait to have Steve Sands on from NBC Sports and the Golf Channel to talk Ryder Cup. And I can't wait to watch that next week. And I think it's going to be amazing. I don't know about betting. I don't look at the golf odds and whether Europe's favored or, Team USA's favored. I don't even look at that stuff. I just hope that when Sunday rolls around that the matches mean everything. I just hope we have great drama in that. I really do. I hope we have great drama.
The United States, by the way, per Google, they're at minus 137. That's the best odds that you can get online. So they are the favorite.
Okay. All right. Well, again, Steve Sands is coming up on Tuesday from the Golf Channel. We'll talk about that. Hoping to get Spud Webb on next week, Doug McDermott of the Kings. We have got Steve Albert to talk about the great boxing matches that he's called in his career and talk about his new book. And we've got some other little goodies coming up next week for you right here on Fox Sports Sacramento. But again, we still have our picks to do. We'll announce the winner. We've got all of that coming up in just a couple of moments. And then we'll get you to the weekend. We got the college football tomorrow. Not a great schedule. I mean, Illinois, Indiana, that doesn't really do much for me. 2 teams in the top 20. The Illini, I think, ranked number 10 right now, and a lot of people are on them. We'll see if Auburn's for real this week. They give it a big game. Oklahoma, that's going to be an interesting contest. And then on Sunday, listen, I'm looking forward to that Broncos and the Chargers game. I think that's going to tell a lot early on in the AFC West. I have not been that impressed with the Broncos through 2 weeks. We'll see how they do against the Chargers as really, when you look at the Chargers through the first 2 weeks, they have been so darn impressive. I'm a Giants fan. I want to see if they can answer the bell and win a game at home against Kansas City. And then, of course, the Monday night game. As I said, that Detroit game at Baltimore, that should be a heck of a contest. Hey, I want to tell you about Village Financial Group and Spencer Grimmenstein, who I've known for 25 years. I met him really right around 2000. That's when he began his family-owned business, Village Financial Group. And he's happy because the rates took a little bit of a dip again. And he is waiting for your call or text at 916-805-4868. Whether you're interested in a home equity line of credit or buying or selling a home, Spencer is a very creative financing specialist with access to private money. Now, if you go on their website, vfgloans.com, you can check out over 9,000 properties that are available for your purchase. And be sure and call Spence or text at 916-805-4868 and ask him about the investor special. It makes sense to call or text Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. When we come back right here on Fox Sports Sacramento, we'll have our picks. We'll announce the winner for the Bennett's $100 gift card. Don't go anywhere. That's next here on the Grant Napear Show.
Fox Sports Traffic. As we take one final look at the roadways, you're going to find officials on the scene of Highway 99 southbound at 12th Avenue. 2 left lanes remain blocked off, and you still got stop-and-go traffic through there. Cap City Freeway westbound at J Street, getting reports of an accident in that area, and you got some slowdowns pretty much anywhere from El Camino Avenue as you make your way down through that accident scene. Heavy rush hour delays on I-5 northbound and southbound between Top of the Town Freeway and US 50 as well. I'm Andy Bass for Fox Sports Sacramento.
Hey, come on in.
Guys. Hi, Jack. In our subdivision?
Yeah, I saw your Suburban out front, so I thought I'd see how your kitchen and bath remodel was going.
We're delayed.
Oh, watch your step.
Waiting on subs.
Contractors?
Yeah.
Oh, so you didn't go with Kitchen Mart?
No, why?
Nothing. That's just why we went with Kitchen Mart. They don't use subs.
No subs? No subs?
Yeah, with the exception of something very specialized, Kitchen Mart does everything in-house so they can finish on time and on budget. So your cabinets, countertops, plumbing, drywall, electric, and your contractor pulled permits, right? That's the law.
Was he supposed to?
Well, you mean supposed to?
What'd I say?
Sub.
Sub?
Sub.
Remodeling your kitchen or bath? 20,000 ecstatic customers agree. No subs means Kitchen Mart's in-house designers, craftsmen, and installers do it right and finish on time and on budget. Kitchen Mart, with 2 showrooms in Sacramento and Rockland. Call 362-7080 or go to kitchenmart.net for a free home appointment.
Kitchen and bath, no one does it better than Kitchen Mart.
The most trusted name in kitchen and bath remodeling since 1976.
For more than 4 decades, Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort has been trusted by home and business owners for their professional expertise in heating, air conditioning, and solar energy. Your home is your castle, and at Sierra Pacific, we thank you for 40 great years of trusting us to protect your castle. Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort, solar, heating, and air. SierraPacificHome.com.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
It's Laramie the Golden Retriever with Vince Bloom the big guy.
The weather's getting cooler, but at Folsom Lake Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, the deals are hotter than ever.
How do you mean, Vince?
It's the Drive Into Fall event, and prices are falling like leaves on every Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram in stock. Listen.
During the Drive Into Fall event at Folsom Lake Dodge, save over $6,500 net savings off MSRP on a new 2025 Jeep Wrangler 2-door Sport. That's over 17% off.
And I've got 5 at this hot deal.
Or rustle up over $10,000 off a new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. Over 19% off.
The Drive Into Fall at Folsom Lake Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Even Laramie knows now is the time for a deal. Right, Laramie?
At Folsom Lake Dodge.
In the Folsom Auto Mall and online at FolsomLakeDodge.com.
Wrangler includes $44.85 dealer discount plus $2,000 in national retail bonus cash. VIN SE 658348. Grand Cherokee includes $45.25 dealer discount plus $5,500 in national retail loyalty and select inventory bonus cash. VINs S866 7701 629 387 6694 58. See dealer for details. Expires 9/30/25.
Love it. It means it's Friday afternoon. It means it's time for our picks, and I'm going with the Red Hot Rhino in Sacktown. Week 3. Let's first of all announce last week's winner. Let's take care of some unfinished business. Who is the winner of the $100 gift card from Bennett's Restaurants?
It is at Sack Girl on X. Congratulations. Make sure that you look for your DMs. We'll send you a message and give you the instructions. Come get your $100 Bennett's gift card.
Love it. All right, Mr. On Fire. You even got a bonus pick. You're 8-1 through 2 weeks, which is unbelievable. So you're up at bat, man. You go first because you're kicking my butt. Go ahead.
Okay, we'll keep it to 4. My first game, I am going Raiders plus 2.5 at Washington. I keep saying this stat. Pete Carroll coached teams 23-19 all time in 10 a.m. games. Also, Pete Carroll teams won 15 of their last 18 10 a.m. games. No Jaden Daniels. Geno Smith will not play that bad again. I think the defense gets after it. I think they're going to have a more balanced attack with Ashton Genty, including in the passing game. Give me the Raiders plus 2.5.
All right, I'm going to go the other way. Raiders playing Monday night. Long flight, short week. Mariota, a very capable backup quarterback. Washington coming off a loss, 3 extra days to get ready for this game. So they have an advantage there. I'm going to give the 2.5, and I'm going to take the Washington Commanders to beat the Raiders.
All right, let's move on. We're going to move west from Washington, and we are going to head up to the Pacific Northwest. My Seattle Seahawks hosting the New Orleans Saints. The Seahawks are favored in this one by 7.5. Grant, the Seahawks never, ever, ever cover these games. Also, the scores, bizarre, 5-2, 7-3. Well, that's not bizarre. But you get my point. This is going to be a close game, and I know that it makes no sense whatsoever if you look at the teams, but trust me, this will be a one-score game. Give me the Saints plus 7.5.
All right. Another big game west. This the AFC West. Chargers at home, 2-0, big wins against Kansas City, and then they dismantled the Raiders. Denver comes in, 1 up, 1 down. Defense has not looked that good. Bo Nix has not looked that good. The Broncos are only getting 2.5 points. I'm going to go with the home team Chargers. Jim Harbaugh, they're on a roll. I'll give Denver the 2.5, and I'll take the Chargers to win this game.
I love that pick. Love it. Drinking the Jim Harbaugh Kool-Aid here, too. All right. Moving on from L.A., I am going to Carolina, the Falcons, who had a dominant defensive performance against the Vikings last week. It was physical. They got the run game going right off the bat. I just look at those 6 sacks. I look at Carolina. I gave you the stat last segment about Bryce Young. Nothing seems to be working out there. Give me the Falcons minus 5.5 in Carolina.
All right. Niners, Cardinals. We got Mac Jones at quarterback. I don't think it's going to matter. Cardinals have not looked good, even though they're 2-0. Niners are only giving 2.5, so the Cardinals get the 2.5. I'll take the home team 49ers to continue. I think McCaffrey will do what he's doing. Mac Jones will do enough. I think defensively, they'll be able to bottle up Kyler Murray. And so I'm going to pick the 49ers at home minus 2.5.
Like it. All right, 4th and final pick on this side of the glass. I am riding with I'm split here, Grant. I've got 2 that I like. Jake Browning, I was going to go with you, but I'm swerving. I'm going to Tampa Bay, Grant. I am going to go against the perfect Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I really like how they're playing. I like everything that's going on with them, but these have been close games. They have been comebacks at the end. I don't think Tampa Bay will lose this game, but I think the Jets will cover at 6.5. I think Tyrod Taylor, that Jets defense, looks a little bit better. Give me the Jets plus 6.5.
You know, I almost went with Cincinnati, too, with Jake Browning because I love him. I love watching him play when he was at high school at Folsom. He's going to be the quarterback for 3 months. But I when I first saw this line, Rano, I thought it was a mistake. And I'm talking about the Cowboys and the Bears from Soldier Field. Like, I don't understand how the Dallas Cowboys and the Chicago Bears have a line for this game that is only 1.5. The Bears at home are getting 1.5 points. Through 2 games, the Bears look terrible. How could that be? And by the way, I'm going to pick Dallas, giving 1.5. Just for the record, I'm hoping that Dallas loses this game, and I hope I lose my pick. But because I'm so far behind you after 2 weeks, I've got to pick who I think is going to win. So I'm going to take Dallas minus 1.5, but I'm rooting for the Bears to win and me lose my pick. Does that make sense, buddy?
It does. I think the line is close there because Dallas put up so many points last week. And I know that means they gave up a lot of points, but the Bears offense is just it's struggling.
So there you have it. I'm taking the Cowboys minus 1.5 at Soldier Field.
Let us know what you think about our picks. Hit us up on the chat on YouTube. Send us your picks on X. Pick 4 games using the DraftKings odds. You can send them up until kickoff. Make sure that you tag at Grant Napear Show, at Ryan_in_Sacktown, and Fox Sports Sacramento. And you, like Sack Girl, our winner for last week, will be entered into the contest to win a $100 gift card from Bennett's, which we will announce at this time next Friday, Napes.
All right, I'm interested in your opinion of the Eagles and the Rams, a playoff rematch, which was a close game, and the Rams almost won. The Rams are getting 3.5. Who do you like in that game?
Oh, man, that was one I was staying away from. I like the Eagles in that game. The Eagles, Grant, have just controlled the line of scrimmage. They've controlled the game. Jalen Hurts has been cool as a cucumber. Mentally, he is one of the top quarterbacks in the league, especially with what he dealt with in college. To me, it's speed, it's skill versus physicality. I got to go physicality over that in the end.
So those are our picks for week 3 in the National Football League. I could listen to this music all day. I love the theme from the NFL on Fox. I love it, man. Freaking great. It's great.
It's the opposite of bedtime music.
The opposite, huh? Love it.
Complete opposite. You're not going to sleep if you hear this on a loop.
You're not loving it if you're a Giants fan, because the Mets have come from 4-1 down, and they now lead Washington 8-6 in the top of the 5th. And the Reds, who were down early to the Cubbies, now lead in the bottom of the 7th, 7-4. So, again, the Giants, the only way they can get into the playoffs, in addition to winning, they need the teams in front of them to lose. 2 of those teams right now are winning, the Mets and the Reds. So we'll keep you posted on that as we get ready to wrap up the week. And it's been a fun week here. I really appreciate the phone calls, the messages on the YouTube stream. Thank you very much. And then, of course, that you hit me up on my X account at Grant Napear Show after. And then we carry it over to the YouTube channel if you don't like that. And I'll be doing another show coming up here tonight at 7 o'clock to get you to the weekend. We'll talk some college in the NFL. We'll talk a little bit baseball playoff race and anything else that is on your mind. And if you missed it earlier at 4 o'clock, one of the best lines, maybe the best line in 3 weeks of radio here on Fox Sports Sacramento, when Bob Valvano talked about Spud Webb walking off the airplane and Jim Valvano seeing Spud in person for the first time, and Tommy Abeda Marco, who recruited Spud. And upon seeing Spud walk down off the airplane, Jimmy looked at Tommy and said, "If that's Spud Webb, you're fired." It's just an absolute classic. That's the number 1 line in 3 weeks, right, Rhino? We got that at the top of the list?
Without a doubt.
So it's a no-brainer, huh? Is that what you're saying? It's not even close? Like, it's a runaway?
It's a runaway.
I love it. A runaway.
A runaway. It is stone cold, hard locked number 1. Number 2, Tim Brown on Spud Webb. And that's why I'm worried. I think this Spud Webb interview might feel more like a roast.
Yeah, Spud doesn't know what's coming his way when he comes on. So we got to keep that quiet, right?
Or maybe he does, and he's been listening.
No, I don't think Spud's been listening in Dallas. Right. I don't think so. But so we're hopefully we'll get him on next week. All right, let's get to a phone call or two before we adjourn for the weekend, and we say hello to John. What's up, John?
Grant, how are you, my friend? Happy
What's
Friday.
going on?
Made it.
Yes.
Just got home. Just fired up the grill. I was able to listen to you on the radio somewhat. And then on the way home, I put you on my phone. So I've been listening and with all applications as long as I could, man. This has been so fun this week. Ryder Cup is coming up. Your picks, I think they're spot on. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start my pick, and I'm going to take the Chicago Bears. And I hope that I am wrong as well, because that's just how it goes. I'm just not positive.
I just can't believe that line's only 1.5 points. That doesn't make sense to me.
It makes no sense. No, I don't get it. But I'm going with my heart one way and with my brain the other way. I don't get it. There's got to be a reason, Grant, but I don't know what it is. Rhino, what's the reason? Can you hear us? I mean, he's the one who knows everything. Yeah. Thank you, Jerry.
All right, buddy. You have a good weekend.
Hey, Grant, you do the same, buddy.
Appreciate you. Again, Vegas isn't stupid. The odds makers, they're normally right on this. Just seems, first of all, Dallas should lose that game to Chicago after how they've played, particularly last week at Detroit. I guess they feel Caleb Williams is going to have a really big game. I don't see it. But, again, my picks, I have not done very well on my 4 picks that we've been doing on Fridays where Rhino's been on fire. So, again, we'll see. I know one thing. If the Bears lose, they're done already, and Ben Johnson's going to have a very difficult first year, and you're going to have all the talk about Caleb Williams this, Caleb Williams that. And it's the same thing in New York with the Giants. If they lose and don't play well, they're in trouble. Brian Dable's in trouble. I don't think he survives. I don't know if the Giants have to win on Sunday, but they have to be very competitive the same way they were in Dallas. And if they blow the game like they did in Dallas, then I don't know if Brian Dable is much. And then if the game is not going, Wilson is not playing well, you know the fans in New York are going to want to see him, and they already want to see him, even though I thought Wilson last week, was outstanding. But they're going to want to see Dart. And if the Giants are losing and things aren't going well and they're getting ready to fall to 0-3, the fans are going to be chanting. Now, for the Giants, their big key, they got to have their left tackle on the field in Andrew Thomas. They just have to. They got to have him on the field. And if he's on the field, then that makes a huge difference to everything that they do on offense, starting with the running game and the pass blocking. I mean, it makes a big, big difference. And he has missed the first 2 games. He is a guy that has to be in. He is questionable. All right. He's questionable for the game coming up on Sunday, but he was questionable in week 1. He was questionable in week 2 and has not been able to answer the bell. He's got that foot injury. So we'll see if he can be on the field Sunday night against the Kansas City Chiefs. But I love the weekends. I love watching college football. I love watching the NFL, and I'll be parked in front of my TV all weekend. And I really hope that I can see the Dodgers, the beginning of the Dodgers and the Giants coming up tonight. Still getting questions about the app that John was just talking about. You can download the Fox Sports KSAC app, and that way you can listen to the show wherever you may be. Don't forget about the stream on Fox Sports Sacramento KSAC on YouTube. You can listen to the show. You can go back and check out the show at your leisure whenever you have time. So appreciate the support. We're getting more and more people on our apps and following us on different platforms. And Rhino's doing a great job putting the interviews up on our X account. There's a whole new system that's going to be coming out very soon where everything is going to be streamlined and it's going to be simple. So we hope that is in the next couple of days. So we're looking forward to that. But appreciate your support and your feedback. And if you have feedback, I would love to hear from you. You can hit me up on my X account at Grant Napear Show and tell me what you like, what you don't like, what you would like in the future. I try to have as many interesting, at least what I think are interesting people to interview, and we'll continue to do that. I mean, my conversation earlier this week with Doug Adler, I thought was just unbelievable. I mean, like those are the stories that you're not hearing anywhere else. And his story is just, it's just incredible to me. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable what that man went through. And you could hear it. What's that? Oh, Adler was last week. My bad. See, that's how fast my weeks go, Rhino. I thought it was this week. It was last week? Wow.
Yeah.
See, like at this pace, I'm going to be 90 years old by the end of the month if I keep speeding up my weeks like this.
We had Mr. Brenneman this week to talk about his story.
Right, and his story was great, wasn't it, Tom Brenneman? And you know what I love about when Tom was on, Rhino?
Yeah.
His honesty.
Yes.
Like how open and honest he is about what he did and how wrong it was and how he had no one to blame but himself. You know, he took full accountability.
Yeah, that and the end of the interview when CW's like, hey, use this as a stepping stone. We expect you to be with Fox. And he said, as long as you have a package, I'm going to be right here. That is really cool too.
Yeah, it's loyalty. All right, so it was Doug Adler last week, Tom Brenneman this week. I do know next week we got a lot of good guests lined up, so be sure and follow me on X at Grant Napear Show. Follow Rhino. Follow, of course, the radio station, all right, at Fox Sports KSAC on both X and YouTube and everywhere else. And make sure you download the Fox Sports KSAC app, because then you can take the show on the road wherever you are, and you will not miss a thing. So I'm looking forward to the game tonight. I really am. I'm looking forward to seeing Clayton Kershaw on the hill, his last regular season game. Say what you want about his postseason record, and I've talked about it. He's been tremendous. He's been great for the Dodgers. He's been great for baseball. He's a stand-up guy. And even though I'm not a Dodgers fan, I'll be kind of pulling for him tonight that his start at Dodger Stadium goes well. And, of course, it's not the last time he's going to be pitching. He's got the playoffs coming up and maybe the World Series. But you know what? I'll be pulling for him tonight. It's going to be a great moment.
The Dodgers,
be a phenomenal moment. tonight.
The Dodgers used to be in Brooklyn, so that's the loophole. That's why you get to pull for them tonight.
Well, thank you. You know what? Okay. And if my dad were alive, he'd be upset. He's like, whoa. No. Yankees, not the New York Giants, not the Brooklyn Dodgers, Grant. No, you can't go there. So don't get me in trouble with Pops looking at me from above, okay?
Fair enough. He's already mad at me for asking about why he wasn't wearing 2 pairs of socks.
Great point right there. So, I will be watching the Dodgers and the Giants. Again, I wonder how long he'll go. This is, a tough situation for the Giants because they take the field and they'll already know the result of the games earlier with teams that they are rooting against. Cincinnati leading 7-4 now in the top of the 8th. They've gone to the bottom of the 5th. The Mets 8, the Nats 6. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'm moving over to my YouTube channel if you don't like that. Talk to you Monday right here on Fox Sports Sacramento. Bye-bye.
Business owners, Grant Napier's back, bringing Fox Sports Radio to the forefront of sports talk in Sacramento. That means more listeners, more potential customers who could be spending money for your products and services. This is Kurt Bagelman, General Manager for Fox Sports Radio in Sacramento. Grant's back, and his return is an opportunity for your business. Listen, the sports talk audience is a target-rich group of consumers. 80% are employed. Nearly 60% earn 6-figure incomes. 67% own their homes. Take advantage of the attention Grant's return has generated to tell people where to spend their money. This is a unique opportunity to increase your sales right now. It costs nothing to learn how a good strategy and a great commercial message heard by sports fans could help your business. So call me, 916-779-0914. 779-0914. Radio and Grant get results, and we are here to help. Call 779-0914.
How bad does Cameron Cade want it?
Sports fans, finally, a horror film with a football twist. Check out Him, the IMAX experience, playing this week at the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento.
In this game, violence is rewarded. So learn to enjoy it.
Greatness demands sacrifice. The next great quarterback descends into a world of terror and trains into something darker. The best theater to experience Him is on the Esquire IMAX Theater 6-story screen. Grab your reserved seats today at IMAX.com/Sacramento.